Welcome back to poLANd.tf. Welcome back to the Essentials.tf stream. I'm Turbo Times. Joining me on the couch this time is Surny. We've got Haunts from Team Mandem and Inso from Team Mandem. Boys, I can smell your smug levels from here. Obviously, you came from your victory in the upper bracket, but now we're in the lower bracket now. And Surny, things are getting serious. There is no more lifelines left. Someone is going out of these two teams, which is ANTICIDE or Venomcrest. There's no more time to saving strats now, right?
They gotta make it count. It's do or die, and I mean, ANTICIDE have been looking a bit shaky all tournament, so this is really a win that they could use. Get themselves another round, a bit deeper into the tournament, perhaps give themselves an opportunity to prove that maybe they didn't need Pandemic after all. Maybe he really was just a chronic onliner. Maybe he dodged on purpose. Maybe he wanted to leave them out to dry. Perhaps.
Haunts, is there any sort of point to like holding things on at this point? Like, is there actually maybe risk involved? Do teams even do this saving strat stuff?
Of course. I mean, I think everyone in Prem probably does. I mean, we do it. We save strats for playoffs and LAN. We haven't used them, but you know we're getting there.
Would you use them in like this sort of setting, or do you think you could? Nah, we can hold on just that little bit longer.
No, we wanted to use like some of our plans that we worked on during the season against the Frenchies on Snake. But I mean, we didn't get to the point. So and we're winning as well. So like there was like no point in really using them because we're winning 2-0. So it was comfortable.
Inso, it's a tragedy what has happened to ANTICIDE. Obviously, this LAN, they had to have this huge disastrous thing. They've lost Pandemic and all that. I mean, would you say that they've bounced back quite well to say that they've lost this this Pandemic, or are they really just a shadow of what they could have been?
Well, I've been with ANTICIDE since pretty much the start of LAN for most of the time. I tried cheering them up because they've been super down. I think losing Pandemic right before LAN caused them to just go into like a bit of a dark place. So they had to swap main cooler, swap roles. First day wasn't good. Like, they know it. They showed it. But I think today, their game against poLANd, it gave them a confidence boost. Like, a very good confidence boost. Especially when poLANd have Rougeman, their whole roster, and they get a very close game. They even take a map of one of the better maps of poLANd. So it gives them a very good confidence boost. I actually can see ANTICIDE going through a lower bracket run. And if they get to the end and they meet poLANd, then I can actually see them pretty much beating them. So, yeah.
Haunts, Venomcrest are a big ego team. They've obviously think very highly of themselves. And is that sort of felt when you're playing against them at all? Do these egos help their gameplay, or do you think it actually hinders them in any way?
Egos don't help anyone. I think I'm not like really into like I'm not experienced in Prem just yet, but I know that egos don't help anyone, especially if you're working in a team. You know, they just ruin your gameplay. You'll go for stupid 1v1s instead of playing in a 6v6 environment. You'll just end up feeding against like a good team, and then it just doesn't help for real.
Surny, I want to touch upon this whole like 6v6 thing. It feels like in a Venomcrest game, it's more like 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. I mean, maybe is there's room for a new kind of play style in TF2, or do they just need to start like, you know, connecting to the cookie cutter a bit more?
I mean, it's testament to how well they can make it work that this chaotic playstyle they have, where there's individual plays being made all the time, right? It's always chaos. That they still somehow make it work a lot of the time, like more often than not. I mean, they had a good run at Uberfest, very, very like surprisingly, and they've had an okay run so far as well, right? They've had some close maps and some maps they probably shouldn't have won that they've gotten away with despite the wacky stuff they've been trying to put up. So, I mean, would they be better if they were more team focused? Probably, yes. At the end of the day, it's a team game, and usually these gimmicky play styles, they can only get you so far. But I'm also willing to see how far they can take it. I think they've done good so far with it, so we'll see, I guess.
All right, gentlemen, I just need to quickly put in an application to our production. Sometimes I need to send them on a panic for about a good 5 minutes. If you could bring us the map picks at some point, production. Oh, Christ, they have it ready immediately. Well,
Would you
I
look at
didn't
that?
predict this. Okay, so, all right, gentlemen, these are the map picks. I'll just quickly run through. You prepare an opinion or just a hot take or maybe something I could chew on.
Didn't know you
throughout
guys
this.
picked Metalworks.
A Metalworks pick out of Mandem. Very, very atypical. That's, wait, whoa, Mandem? Excuse me? Whoa, hold the phone. I've just
Production.
noticed.
What are these teams?
Horns, Inso, quick, run to the booth. You've got another game.
Clearly you're playing.
Travel back in time. All right, maybe put the map picks and bands away. We'll try and like solo its different style. All right. I mean, maybe we should review your map picks and bands. They were clearly very, very okay. Obviously, we've got this upper bracket, lower bracket system. We've got best of threes now. Haunts, talk to me about these map picks and bans. Just from a general sense, from a player sense, is it all end all be all when it comes to map picks, or at this point does it map picks not really matter when it comes to like these top level TF2 teams?
Map picks definitely matter, especially if you're playing.
My
at this
God,
level,
is
yeah,
that the
well.
actual map picks and bans? Well, I mean, we were technically right.
Yeah.
Metalworks is a pick that's coming out for ANTICIDE. So yeah, big fan of the Metalworks, obviously over on Mandem. What is it about this map that's just so enticing to teams?
This is ANTICIDE, no?
ANTICIDE, yeah. ANTICIDE, pick
Yeah, we played it too
Metalworks.
as well. I mean, Metalworks is one of our best maps. We really like playing it, and I mean, as I was saying, map picks, especially at this part of the LAN or this tournament, it's like important as hell. Like you have your best maps, they have their best maps. You want to pick what you play best against those teams. You know, against friends.
So it's not about what you're personally best at, it's just what's best for the team you're playing against.
It's a bit of both. Like you know, I want to like give my input. You know, I know I'm good on one map. I know my team is like a bit shaky on it. So like I might just not end up picking that map.
Interesting. So do you ever feel like, man, we really need a particular player to have a good game? Do you actually deviate the map pick for said player, or do you think just no, keep it all overall?
No. It's all about the team. We need to pick as a team, play as a team. We will end up like winning the map if even if one person is bad at the map, the other ones will like carry the guy around, and you just gotta always play according to the team.
Interesting. Inso, obviously you can see these map picks in bands. Is there anything that's kind of caught your eye, anything that's a bit strange, or anything that's maybe just incredibly common that you can spot here?
I think the surprise that both coughs were banned by both these teams.
Well, yeah, straight out of the gate. Nobody wants to play Koff straight away. Do you think that might be because we didn't get to see it to the group stages at all? Is this an intimidating pick for teams right now?
Well, in my opinion, ANTICIDE, they just came off a victory against 4Fence on Bagel, so it makes sense for Venomcrest to ban it. But I don't think ANTICIDE should have banned product. I think they're very capable.
Are they
like,
scared of the classic, maybe? Ooh.
the classic? Yeah.
Sorry,
maybe.
wait. Ooh, yeah, yes. But yeah, Venomcrest have been rocking this classic. Have you guys scrimmed against it at all?
We played an offie against them and we
Oh,
lost.
right. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What yeah, I think I even cast that as well. How was that on that end? Tell me, like, the nitty-gritty.
I mean, the first round, we won. It was a pretty convincing win on the first round, and they brought out the classic, and we were just confident. It's pretty much like a meme. But yeah, after that round, it happened to be that we kept on getting body shot and body shot and body shot and body shot over and over and over again, and it kept on causing a lot of tilt, a lot of chaos, pretty much. But in general, it's a good weapon to use on products, in my opinion. It shows you vision, pretty much.
Haunts, it looks like you're having PTSD over there, just literally looking back like, oh dear God. Is this really truly a threat? Is it just about you have to ban that map out against Venomcrest at all times now?
I mean, I don't know if Witness play against them, they will ban it. You know, Witness, they probably have a bunch of strats on products. You know, the official against them, I played Sniper against the Classic. I didn't really feel it, but I imagine
it felt like a good counter. I could see your logic in it.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine if I played Soldier, I would be hella mad. But I played Sniper, so I'm good. Also, Classic is good if you play in a specific like gameplay. Like if you don't pick China at all, you just go for body shots on cliff and just shoot body shots the whole time into a demo, into a scout. That weapon is good. But if you just take 1v1s against Sniper, that weapon won't be good. And that's what Varno did. Varno didn't take any 1v1s against me on Sniper, so he played well.
All right, Surny, let's circle it back a little bit, take it away from those dark memories and talk a bit more about ANTICIDE versus Venomcrest. Is there any sort of direct matchups that you're kind of interested in seeing here?
I mean, I haven't seen much of them today, to be fair. They had a close-ish match against Forfence, obviously. And I do wonder how well Charlie's come into his own, right? How well he's been assimilating to the role, how well the switch for Ryan to the pocket has been working out, how well the soldiers in general, that duo is going to work. Because I do think like Blank has been doing fine on Scout. I think he's been doing admirably on that role. He's been assimilating perfectly. So I think the Scout matchup is going to be perfectly fine. I think it's really going to boil down to the soldiers. Kayn and Tyram are nasty. They are nasty. Tyram has been hitting some insane rockets, especially yesterday. So yeah, like if they're on form, Charlie and Ryan, I'm gonna have to step up a lot. And I think I've always thought it was like a questionable move. Ryan wanted it himself to go to pocket, but he's the star playmaker roamer on that team. So him taking the step back to pocket it's a curious move. And I mean, if it helps the team stabilize, and if Charlie's confident in the roamer role, sure. But it's a very interesting choice, and I mean, it's been working out okay for them, but it's probably also put them in this. Part of me just wonders how the team would look if they swap the soldier roles around, right? Part of me wonders a little bit, at least.
I guess maybe it's just trying to stem the bleeding a bit, like put Charlie on something that, you know, if he dies, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, I don't know. Haunts, if you have, like, you know, you're playing scrims one night, you got a Merc coming in, like, what kind of hot tips, what are you telling those Mercs on your team to, like, you know, kind of comfort them into playing their game a bit? Like, what would you tell Charlie in these situations to kind of make it easier to transition into
I'll
the
just
team?
tell him whatever like he has to do. Like I am telling you what the last player did before I joined. You know, I remember last season we had the Blank working for Lados. We just told him like whatever Lados was doing, you just do the same. Okay. You know, it's the best one-to-one change you can do, I think.
Inso, have you ever merked for a team? You ever covered anybody in an official, anything like that? Just before I ask you this question, you know, so I don't seem completely out of place. You've probably merked for some teams in your past, right? What's it like being in Charlie's shoes right now? Is it awkward, probably, covering for somebody in these sorts of team, in these sorts of situations?
I mean, I heard he didn't play TF2 since, like, he hasn't played TF2 since
Played some
December.
pickups.
Played a bit of pickups, but pickups aren't really offies, especially not LAN. He's coming into a team that have very high expectations, especially for LAN. Everyone thought they'd come into LAN pretty much with the M capabilities that just upset every team pretty much. But if I'm being honest, I'd expect Ryan to be the main character in like helping him out. If one of your roamer or pockets aren't here, then you have to expect the other soldier to be more vocal on how to bomb, where to bomb, or when. You can't just rely on Blank as a main caller or Hugie to call you in every time. I think it affects him a bit. But Charlie is a main caller himself, or he used to be. He used to be a very good comms player as well, so I'd expect it to be pretty fine. But in general, I don't think it affects them as much against Venomcrest, but it could. It very much could.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. You've been a valuable resource to giving some analytical takes here. We're going to take it over to our casters. They're going to give us their little analytical takes, and then we're going to take you into our lower bracket game, Venomcrest versus ANTICIDE.
Yes, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for this lower bracket game. Now, we must remind you, this is a knockout game here. Venomcrest and ANTICIDE. Whoever loses this best of three, they're going home. No prize money, no happy days. Just a sad, sad plane journey back home. However, I'm joined here by Ben Purple Lightning. Ben, how are we feeling about this game?
It's weird just saying that the loser of this goes home, because I'm looking at these two teams, and this is two blooming good teams.
Yeah.
And one of them to be going out in like this, just the second round of the lower bracket, just speaks volumes to how strong this tournament is. There's so many great teams, and we are down to literally just Prem teams left now at this point. Like, it's only teams from this season of Premiership. Everyone at this point is absolute top of the game, and these two teams are a testament to that. ANTICIDE and Venomcrest have looked so strong in this tournament so far. Like, it's a shame to see one of them go.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I mean, our couches, our analysts, yeah, they were talking a little bit about the changes that ANTICIDE have seen, and maybe it was a little bit of a debuff, but I think today they've been playing a lot better, and they have some really key players on this. So either way you look at this, this should be a close one, and we don't have to make any predictions any longer as our game is starting here. It is going to be Venomcrest in the blue, ANTICIDE in the red here for our lower bracket game. Take us away, Ben.
And we already have a heavy on the way to the mid-fight. Vanu with the steak sandwich is there, is ready, and will be rolling out on the heavy weapons man. Minigun in hand. Will ANTICIDE be able to deal with this?
Yeah, this is a known strat from this team, especially on Metalworks, and losing 2 straight away is not what you want at all. Insta-punish coming out from this ANTICIDE team. This heavy just is so slow to come in that they're allowed to take all the high ground, all the space, and that soldier just gets absolutely decimated, doesn't take any of it back here, and everyone else on the side of Venomcrest has to back out. Heavy peeking into this doorway here, instantly denied. That's crazy, they just put 3 players in that doorway.
They must have been expecting it maybe with the shadow or something, because 3 players instantly able to lead the heavy. And now the medic is in danger too. Eon gets forced out, and Theos looks to me pretty safe and sound all the way back. And actually all 6 players on ANTICIDE have lived to tell the tale. Juno and Vanu in the respawn queue, no scouts up for the defending Venomcrest team. And this is full Uber ad just a minute into the game. There isn't a block attempt happening on second, but this might just be 1 less player for last.
Yeah, Teram tries to block the point, but unable to get anything. Charlie taking down to low health, but it doesn't matter as the rest of the team are running their way into last here, taking the road on this left-hand side. Pyro doing a good job of denying, however, they're catching absolutely everyone with it. The cap time is coming out. Surely they cannot win this, and they absolutely cannot. ANTICIDE taking an absolutely rapid round in a minute and a half.
Crazy stuff from the heavy mid. Like, literally as soon as that heavy gets deleted, the floodgates are completely open. Yak still waiting to spawn in, and no heavy, no demo. How on earth are Venomcrest even allowed to stay there? They had to be leaving it so much earlier, but Ian gets caught, gets forced, and it's an easy conversion there for ANTICIDE. They're here to do business. Less than 2 minutes played. ANTICIDE already a step in the lead.
You know what I really like that I just saw ANTICIDE doing? Double spy to check those off classes. So obviously been doing their homework on this team of Venomcrest. Know they like some shenanigans, but no shenanigans coming out as both teams coming into Cookie Cutter on this second mid.
Yeah, going to see what they're made of this time. The 2 scouts, Vanu and Juno, none of them opting for an off class this time around. They're opting for a slower paced mid as well. Both teams just take their respective crates, spamming across the point, trying it to jostle for the height. It's actually the soldiers over and ANTICIDE, the first ones to jump in, the first ones to do a good amount of damage, but Charlie has had to bomb away on low HP, and actually Venomcrest are looking a lot better in terms of the HP department. Flank already gone down, Charlie goes down too, and now Venomcrest, they can start the walk forward, they can start the chase, and maybe catch someone here on the rotation. Soldiers flying into second already, they want to go for this.
Yeah, absolutely, and they might as well when you hit those sort of rockets. KN coming in deep here, landing on a soldier.
Hit
Gonna
that,
be
hit
taking
that.
him down.
You count him out for the first one, but the second one absolutely fantastic as usual there for KN. At the end of things, the Ubers are traded, but now it's ANTICIDE still on the back foot, still a player down and still fighting in their own lobby, trying to get back out. They've managed to stabilize things just for a moment. They've got health advantage. Venomcrest, they're going to have to take a chill. They're going to have to sit still, and they are going to just have to build up these Uber charges. Eon still away from Uber. The Ubers were traded, remember, they're in lobby, so it's going to be even Ubers, but it's all on Venomcrest now. How do they sack? What off classes do they pull? Do they pull any shenanigans?
It's surely just going to be like a 4-man and some goofy stuff. We'll have to see. But this sort of team on Venomcrest, I would usually say, they don't really like to sit around, but actually, they have been playing a little slower when they need to. I was talking to Yak yesterday, and he was like, yeah, we like playing chaotic, but actually, we're seeing like when we need to slow it down, and they've really been learning here. However, they haven't learned how to not pick a sniper, as Menex hitting a double headshot.
Menex as well, looking for more. Oh, does this man miss?
I do not think he does. That's 2 crucial picks there. A scout and a demo man, and it is just going to open the floodgates for the rest of ANTICIDE to try to get a push in or try to get a peek onto this medic here. It's a little bit risky peeking around that corner because you can quite easily get killed.
No. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
The spy, the double spy, the
double
Yak spy.
The French connection is coming up. Yak and Vanu both on the spy. Yak has gone back to spawn and changed off, decided it was a bit too crazy, maybe a bit too mad. It's just going to be Vanu going in, sneaking through, checking there is a pyro for a moment. They may be thinking about trying to block this. Charlie currently checking and is going to be aware of this spy, but is it going to be quick enough because the spy already walking in? Never mind, it is fast enough. The sentry gun does the damage and the spy gets nothing.
Yeah, they are being really, really good on checking these off classes on ANTICIDE.
You have to be against this team.
Yeah, because literally we saw Yak on spy, and he absolutely would have committed if this game wasn't so important, right? And they weren't run one round down here. And now I think they need to kind of make it a little more simple on the side of Venomcrest. I think you've got to send in these double sacks. You've got to try to get a little bit of space onto this gun. I was maybe expecting them to try to come up on a sniper, but maybe want to try those traditional sacks before they go off of something crazy, because these soldiers can do absolute work on the side of Venomcrest, but you can't get anything started if your demo man's dead.
No.
Oh no!
Medic says, I've barely seen this guy miss a shot the whole time. Might be overstaying his welcome there into lobby. But like you say, it's all well and good us saying, oh, they should send sacks, they should pressure the gun. It's so hard to do that when the sniper is just ripping everyone's head off. Now the sniper's dead for a moment though, and they are actually a player up, and it's actually just walking with the trade here, up one player, take down the gun straight away. Ubercharge now used by Theos. It's all about this reclaps, all about this post-fight. Spawners might be here for ANTICIDE to get in onto this, but Venomcrest, they're sticking around, they want to fight this, they want to go for the point, they're really piling bodies in, but it's not going to be enough. Down to 3 players, they're going to have to back all the way out.
Losing Yak there is painful as well, because it means there is no players with Eon here. We've seen this man do work before on being an absolute Houdini and escape artist, and he does it once again. Ryan beefs that final rocket there, unable to get Eon. He does survive, evening up those Ubers here and keeping Venomcrest in the game just that little bit. They have had to concede second, but to be honest, in that situation and what that turned into, this is the best case scenario.
There is still a bit of an advantage to be worked with here, because Eon was running away alone for a moment. There has about 20% advantage for Theos. It's something where if they want to go very, very fast and they're building it hard, they could maybe make it work. And given their posturing towards house, maybe they're thinking about it.
Yeah, this is on the line, right? If you want to go for this play, you need to go for this medic. They do have Uber, only 80% on Eon. They are going through this main door, need to get straight onto Eon. They are all looking at him. He shouldn't be able to get out of this one. Nice surf, but unable to get anything else from it. There's a couple of players running in behind a soldier onto this second point. However, surely he's not long for this world. Charlie is absolutely on his case here, but it's an extended fight. Has brought everyone else back here. KN manages to get a pick during all this. Good first rocket onto the medic of Theos, however, cleaned up by QG there. However, that Uber not quite doing as much as they hoped. Spawners are coming in, so there's maybe a chance for a defense on this mid, but I don't think they have the numbers actually.
I love the idea there, like 20% ad. They know exactly how big the ad is. They've calculated that so well. Credit to Eon, and credit to Junu there, hitting a nice little shot over on to Charlie. Just going to stem the bleeding for a moment, because again, it is about a 20 advantage for Theos. But down a soldier, it's going to be a while till that spawner comes in. Up against a sniper, maybe they're less keen on the idea now of just barreling in through main.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit careful for this one now when you've got that sniper up, right? Because you want to take as much space as possible before using, and with that sniper, and he could be on any sight line, you'd have to use really early, and then it makes it so much harder to get onto that medic. However, they're walking into house. It's already 90% on Eon. Yeah, they actually use it. This is really, really Chad from them. They do manage to get Junu, but Eon is so far out, getting Vanu during all this, though. Surely they're going to struggle to fight. Yak coming in, doing absolutely massive damage. Uber is used out here as well. Kael the first, full Teram the second, so there's absolutely no pressure here for the side of Venomcrest. That was a sad, sad Uber, and Eon might even lose his life for it.
Looks like he will be doing, and it's all well and good getting that Uber in the post fight, but when it's 20% advantage, and ANTICIDE's Uber is so damn good. They get 3 kills in the Uber, and yes, they don't necessarily get the force or the medic kill, and the Uber is able to come up. It's 6v3. How on earth can you expect Yak to just kill everything in an Uber, right? It's just impossible. He gets 1 kill, which honestly is a pretty decent job from Yak. So, really well played there from Theos, really well played again, squeezing out these teeny tiny advantages and just making the most of it.
Yeah, I love seeing teams play right on the edge. It feels like sometimes it's a more risky play to do, to go for those sort of things, especially when you're only 1 round up, because if that goes tragically and you somehow lose 2 players and they just manage to snowball into your last, you're going to be head in hand thinking, why did we do this? We're in an advantageous position, we didn't need to take that risk. However, these players playing on their limit and feeling good, and they are feeling like pushing into last here, Ben.
They are with another advantage. It's even bigger this time around. Eon nowhere near getting an Uber charge up of his own. Look at the Venomcrest players. They're all cowering behind the point. They can't get in. They cannot stand on this circle for the life of them. They're getting bullied by the explosive classes of ANTICIDE. 2-0. these last pushers with Ad have just been clinical.
Yeah, I think their soldiers getting in, managing to do a whole lot of work in the post-dubers, and the sentry guard just being instantly dealt with. Nothing they can really do. Crazy headshots from Menex as well to open up some opportunities for them to get out of last here. I have to say, ANTICIDE, they've just been looking a little bit better. The Chaos Merchants of Venomcrest been struggling a little bit, losing a couple of players when they don't want to. Doesn't feel like they've really had the scout presence that maybe you would want on this map. Yak is incredibly slow to this mid as well.
Yeah, not looking at too great at the start here. Ryan going to abuse this situation straight away, just jump straight onto the point, get some early spam, and look at the space that ANTICIDE have got here across this mid. They are locking out these players. Yak's going to be in court here in the connector, and the rest of the team not long to follow. Theos goes down, which is a consolation prize, but it's only worth it if Eon survives, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Another mid win for ANTICIDE, and like you say, absolutely pivotal work on that space taking there, and Yak a little bit too slow.
Yeah, it's just Ryan shutting down that space, jumping straight on the point, sending in a bit of spam. They just struggle to get in, and then they just lose players one by one during all of this, and just can't really make too much happen. Unable to get Eon out as well, so it means that, you know, while the Ubers are still even-ish, Theos still on about 20 advantage. We'll see if that comes in to play. I very much doubt it here.
I don't know, knowing Theos, right? He's just used 2 of those advantages in the last, like, 10 minutes. It is possible. We have a spy up for Charlie. Are they out of spawn? Are they walking out? Yes, they're going for it. Okay, we're not going for any kind of 20-ad push. We are going for some Frenchman gameplay, trying to sneak in, try and get the all-important pick onto one of these players on this last hole. We saw before Venomcrest had a go, but ANTICIDE was so aware it didn't get too much value. But this time it's Charlie on ANTICIDE's team trying to do it and trying to get in as stealthily as possible.
Yeah, are they aware of it here? Because KN is sending a lot of spam rockets into this doorway. Like, he's fully aware that there could be a spy coming in. I think this man's going to run out of ammo. Charlie doesn't need to move here. He's just firing every single rocket, does not want to let him through. Finally, actually just sneaks through as he reloads that rocket. Really nice from Charlie here. See what you can do on this spy. He's just spotting things out, saying, guys, they have a sniper here. You should probably listen to that call, though. As there's a nice headshot going out, and actually getting 3 players here. This might prompt them to push out, and Charlie might get the back cap.
Well, Charlie got caught in the midst of all that. Charlie decloaked, and it was kind of mulched up by by everyone there on the defending side. But it's again Venomcrest walking out, and Junu has taken some liberties, gone walkies here out into alley on the sniper. Not something you traditionally see that often, but on even Uma's sniper can be potent here on the second point of Metalworks, particularly because of these long sight lens that you get over towards the valley. See if any heads pop up above that ledge. See if anyone dare stand in the sight of Junu.
Yeah, there is a scout that is just peeking his head, but that's a near impossible shot. You'd have to be a cheater. You'd have to get your AZN mode on for that one. But they should just be rotating around here, seeing if Junu can find an angle, find an overextender. There's not a big rush on this one to really do anything crazy, especially on the side of ANTICIDE, right? They don't need to go forward. They don't need to take any risk.
Well, the big statement for that is that he's gone. Has he changed off? Was that a HUD thing? I think I saw Ryan on Contra a second. I think they might have changed off, or it might be a HUD thing, but it's a statement if they are deciding to pull up banners here and trying to grind things out. And Venomcrest, they don't really want to wait around. You see here, look at the space they're taking in towards alley. This is very, very aggressive for a team on their own second point. Ryan could jump in at any moment and potentially play spoiler to this, but they're giving up some ground here on this side. Venomcrest walking in with their sniper. 1 headshot found so far by Junu. Uber Trade comes in, and now is where it can get messy. This is where you can punish these push outs. Ryan jumping in behind. Good damage there into Yak, but in this post fight now, how will things fade? Ryan getting pummeled, but doing so much damage before going down.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. You have to get the kills here. There are players in this house doing absolute work. Menex along with Hugh G here, unfortunately, are taken out. They do have a back capper onto this second point. Menex unknown as well, straight onto Yak's back. He thinks he's a spy, 170 damage, but Yak's fully buffed. Gets taken out here. Still 1 scout ratting around in the back there. It should be cleaned up. That's blank going down. Pretty clean from Venomcrest, playing very well around their medic to clean up those players in behind. And as a reward, they're going to take mid here, and they're going to have uber advantage to go along with it.
all predicated on that one headshot we saw at the start of that
Yeah.
fight. That just starts the cascade, starts the trade. ANTICIDE feel like they have to get in, they have to do something, they have to stir up some trouble. They can't just let that sniper walk in for free and take all the space and potentially open up more shots. But Yak getting caught to a sticky trap there from Hugie underneath is going to be missing for the remainder of this fight, and this might make this push quite a bit harder. No demo to deny these doorways, and ANTICIDE fully aware of that. They're happy to peek in for a little bit, just buy some time, and they're going to have an Uber up for their own last hold.
Yeah, things have evened out here, essentially. 90% on that Uber you're essentially going to get by the time they go in. Yak currently in spawn on Spy. Looks like it's going to be Junu coming up on the sniper. Was just checking things out for a second here. He's still in here, though, man. He is checking absolutely everything.
Okay, we're in normal when we haven't quite reached Yak Spy moment. I don't know, he scares me, right? Any other demo, I just assume they're coming out in demo.
Yeah.
Any other demo, but when it's Yak, I think, and I sit there and I like, you know, I'm worried. I think we're going to get the Yak Spy.
It's worked as well. That's the scary
It has, that's
thing.
the thing. Against the best teams.
It's going to be an SVS here. Junu against Blank. We did see Menex going crazy on the side before, so if Blank has a similar performance here, Junu is very much looking for this sniper head. However, Blank finding the headshot here. Things going to slow down again for just a second. Blank looking like he maybe wants to go to take a shot on this right-hand side, see if he can find anyone overextending.
It's worth it, right? One player up. You may as well try and catch some straight ahead walking across this point, but everyone on Venomcrest was playing fairly passive. A couple of them, I say that, are actually dancing in front of this dangerous sightline. They are going to manage to survive, to live, to tell the tale. As Junu is coming up on Sniper on the other side, use the opportunity of his death to come up, sniper rifle in hand, and might be going for some kind of hero shot.
Yeah, looks like they want to take this over on the right-hand side. Very Dortmund-esque coming out here. Might want to go for the hero shot onto that medic. 50 health onto the soldier. They know he's here now. They know this is the angle he's going to be peeking. Is going to be bullied away a little bit, but Charlie, scarily low health, 8 HP there, but unable to clean him up. Would have given a bit more of an opportunity here, but it's going to slow things down again. Blank with a great sightline. Doesn't take the shot straight away. Knows the medic beam is close here, but no one wanting to go in. No one wanting to commit. There's not enough pressure from either team to go for something.
We see Junu constantly threatening to go for this Locker's Peak, the really, really crucial one that we saw at the end of the Dortmund land by Gazi, trying to toy with the idea the soldier has to be cleared away first before you can get in, or at least the soldier has to be reloading. Soldier taking very, very weak is Charlie. The peak comes in. Junu goes for the peak, does not manage to fire the shot at the head of Theos. There was a split second where it was maybe possible, but that is an inhuman shot to hit.
Yeah, that's near impossible to take that one. Ken going down before this Uber trade comes out. Also losing Yak. This is just the big problem that seems to happen with Venomcrest, right? They're not all on the same page of exactly what they want to do. They just see this tiny opportunity. They're like, oh, we'll just go for this trade. It's good here. But two players, they're not ready for this. Or Eon is not ready to flash someone. And then it goes all so bad. Luckily, there's a lot of respect coming out from this ANTICIDE team. They don't want to push out. They know they're 2 rounds up. They know there's only 2 minutes left on the round timer before things reset. And they're quite comfortable just to sit on their last.
Which I guess in Venomcrest, they're kind of happy that that's the situation to some extent, because otherwise, in a normal situation, I think ANTICIDE might have fancied the chances at pushing out there. It was, what, 3 picks for a moment? But now, Venomcrest back with one last attempt, 1 minute 48 on the round timer before we get sent back to run the mid-fight. And again, there's going to be this fortress to breach into the gun, the sniper, the soldiers. And actually, they don't even care about any of that, because they're just going to walk into Uber straight and get the gun, get the trade. But losing Tiram makes this post-fight so much more difficult. They're going to have to retreat. They're going to have to build it up again.
Yeah, losing Vanu as well there. They're just absolutely nowhere. They're going to be able to get back in for a refight here, unfortunately. And they've just really been struggling with this on the side of Venomcrest. With only 1 minute and 20 remaining, what can they do here?
I'm calling it. Vanu comes up heavy and they trade in. What do we think?
Wow. I like it. I like it. It can
it
work on this map, especially through shutters here.
Yeah, in a post-fight, right? I know Vanu's the one to go for it as well, but this time decides against it and decides just to come up on the scout. I presume we're just going to go for another kind of trade here. Like, there's kind of no time for anything else. There's only 55 seconds on the round timer. Really not time to work with. And this time it's Lockers they're going to try and trade through.
Yeah, taking on this left-hand side, there were stickies. They are out now, gives a little bit more space, a little bit more room for things to come in. It is a Demo Man bombing in, gets a sentry straight away, but Uber still not used on the side of Theos. Yeah, but look at this, look how...
The cap! What?
Pain trade. I think they came up on Pain Train there. Soldier stands on the point, bombs it. Venomcrest in the chaos of all things. I was saying, oh, Fios is doing such a good job here. He's not using it all. They're getting away from the point. There's no one that close. And then a Soldier is bombing in, capping the round, making this a much more exciting game.
That's wild. It's the forbidden technology. You just put bodies on the circle. The demo goes down. Hugie can't have stickies on it. And that just means the cap is free for the taking. ANTICIDE just had to use their Uber, get players onto that point, but it just was caught in a moment's notice, and ANTICIDE were not in position, but now they're still a round up, 10 minutes left to play. ANTICIDE still in some amount of control here, being a round up, but it's a bit closer than they'd like it here, as this fourth mid-fight is already getting underway with some trades back and forth.
Yeah, both Soldiers going down for each team here, and they're trading high grounds as well, here, there, and everywhere. No one able to really find anything. A nice rocket onto a scout. Might be able to start things off on the right foot here, however, it has not. Again, trading these Soldiers out here, but it's looking good for this red side. They've taken all this high ground space, but their health is not amazing here, and everyone is really struggling to find where they can commit. Can they find a pipe from either Demoman to go for something? It looks like Menix coming in from the side will manage to take down Yak. That's definitely how you start things. Ubers come out from both teams. It's going to be a trade on this point. The spawners coming up very soon for both teams. Soldiers should be rolling out, and it's looking good for Venomcrest as they take down Junu and they take this point with them.
That's fantastic flank scout play for Menix there. Gets in at the perfect time, and I think Menix only takes about 30 damage that whole time, but he's constantly in. Players aren't looking at him, constantly dancing around and constantly picking fights with people with their backs turned, and is able to win out that mid in the end. But these Soldiers fighting in the house, trading 1-for-1 for now. ANTICIDE, they're potentially looking forward. They're bombing Soldiers in. They might want to take some space here.
Yeah, I think these floaty Soldier bombs that just always a constant pressure on you is exactly how you need to get in on this, especially like when you're one down. Having Junu, it's in onto Fios, not able to find those final pistol shots and not connecting here. But now Ryan going down as well. KN all the way in, manages to get Fios. Now things are looking a little bit better for Venomcrest. There's a couple of little players around that could be a problem, however, they're getting cleaned up. Just 2 players in behind, and they've been so good throughout this game at finding these players.
They absolutely have, but these players behind you have to kind of turn these into chaos, right? You're down a demo and a medic and a pocket scout, right? They've got to try and go for something. They've got to try and stir up some trouble in the Venomcrest camp, even if it's just to slow them down. Even if you don't get any kills, any sort of meaningful picks, it just means that Venomcrest aren't rolling this ad full throttle towards the ANTICIDE last point, and it's done a bit of that. They've bought themselves a little bit of time. Midpoint still getting capped up. Could be still about 60 advantage. The spawners might even be getting denied here on second. They are 2 forward spawns denied. And now Venomcrest, they're looking good for a roll forward here.
Yeah, so they just have no chance of holding on to this point, essentially, with those 2 players down. They are just going to be able to bundle in with those numbers advantages. Got to be a little careful stickies in under here. They're taking this very safe, actually, giving Fios a lot of time to get Uber here. I was thinking, actually, that 30% could really matter here, and that's exactly what is happening. Fios has managed to get to 95% of this Uber, and surely will be getting here. So an Uber advantage of 40 seconds is lost here. That could have been a really pivotal. Huge rockets from KN, loads of damage coming through here. Sentry gun down straight away. This should open some doors.
Absolutely, and Tiram, look how deep in he is. He really wants to fight, and Ryan's already been picked off. So now they can just barrel this in. They're going to take the Uber trade just with 1 extra player, get a lot of cap time before the trade comes in from ANTICIDE, and this would get messy. Last time the cap came through under the noses of ANTICIDE off of 1 player pick. This time it's going to be a bit slower, and Venomcrest, they're going to have to go for wave number 2.
Yeah, Yak goes in as well, though. He's a little too overextended on that right-hand side. Couldn't really find himself a way out, so has to commit. Big rockets as these players come into lobby. However, no picks coming out for KN here, so not looking too bad again for ANTICIDE. They might have an opportunity to push out onto the second as Junu also loses his life.
Vanu on the sniper now is maybe going to be a nuisance for these players trying to push in from the shutter. Needs to hit a shot, doesn't quite manage to hit the headshot there onto Hugie. Scouts dancing around, very, very hard to hit, very, very hard to pin down with this mouse, but it's not the sniper that's doing the damage, it's the rest of the damn team because 3 players have fallen.
Yeah, surely this is the opportunity if you're Venomcrest making their way into lobby. Hugie has his work cut out to try to slow these players down, but it's just a double soldier bomb coming in, going high onto this medical field. It's a nice early pick here. It's Uber advantage at minimum. However, it looks like it's going to be an easy round for Venomcrest, bringing this back up to a 2-2. ANTICIDE looks so good in that first 5-10 minutes of this game, and since then it's been all Venomcrest.
You just can't count these guys out of
No.
a series ever against any team, no matter how good they are. Venomcrest, they will fight until the dying moments. And for ANTICIDE, like, it's not even like this is necessarily going to Golden Cap. There's still 5 minutes left to play. Anything could happen here.
Yeah, watching this Yak rollout, however, I have noticed he did not get the full buff. He's going to be a lot slower or a lot unhealthier. Hugie not going for that second jump, so they are going to meet at the same time here, luckily.
It's funny, we hypothesized before when they were constantly retrying at the start, were they trying to get the spawns? Maybe it hasn't quite worked out for them because, yeah, Yak weak to these mids is very, very slow, and it means that ANTICIDE have taken so much space. Once again, Menex being an absolute tyrant across this point. And look at the frags coming in, all in synchronization. 3 players on Venomcrest are falling, including the medic. Theos, massive advantage, no danger at all to that medic's life. And now, we were saying before, Venomcrest back in the game, rolling forward. The last thing they want is for this to slip away in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is the opportunity for ANTICIDE now. They are just taking this space so much better on mid, I feel like. I think they're doing a really, really great job of just taking that hype, spamming things out, a lot of focus on Yak during these mids as well, and then getting those little flank plays going on from Menex and assisted a lot by Charlie here. They do get them one more attempt at an Uber advantage push into last, and this might be all they need.
It might be. There is a crit screen being built up from Eon, so there is maybe the hope of getting those Unu laser beams out towards the end, but they've got an Uber to contend with first. As the Uber charge comes in from this far left-hand side, already sticking up the spawn. Gun underneath is going to get spotted late and is going to buy a lot of time. And now it's laser beam time. Junu with the crits, gets 1, gets 2, and gets a 3rd actually. Junu on the heavy. The laser beams reign supreme, and they absolutely eviscerate the ANTICIDE team.
Yeah, everyone else is too low health to really be able to come in and take a fight here. Need to be careful of a soldier who might be coming from Valley, but it looks like he backs out in the end of things here. And yeah, this is so nice now for Venomcrest, right? They're kind of had a little bit of an Uber advantage, but they managed to get their way out of last here. Now, what do we think they're going to do? Do we think they want this to go to Golden Cap? Are they just going to chill on their second tier? Are they going to wait for ANTICIDE to try to make a mistake? Or do you think they're going to wait for one pick from a push and they're just going to go absolutely balls to the walls and try to get in?
The ad isn't really, well, it's not quite workable. It's like,
hey, Theos would use it. Theos
was using 20 ad. This is more like 15, and it seems like Theos is building hard here over on the midpoint. So these are tough to make work, and it looks to me like Venomcrest, the body language of these players, they're content to chill. They're content to see if ANTICIDE are going to come in. Yes, if ANTICIDE do commit, I think Venomcrest, of course, will be content with running forward, taking mid, and having a go themselves. But they've got these bombers to contend with first. Ryan, straight in, but only getting 1 rocket.
Yeah, just a single soldier bomb coming in there. Not usually the most successful play at this level, but it's very, very low risk here. And I think that's kind of what they want right now. They've still got a little bit of time to play for. They want to kind of suss out how they're playing. Can they get away with some cheeky single sacks from an unspotted player? Not able to this time. Ryan staying up on soldier as well, so we're not seeing any sniper shenanigans here. See what they want to do. Looks like they might be sending a few more players into Valley this time.
Yeah, we see sort of, as you say, that the single sack at this level isn't too common. We're normally seeing at least someone fade or at least some pressure from underneath or some stickies landing at the same time, and that seems to look like what ANTICIDE are maybe going for now. They're getting their soldiers buffed up. Ryan again, ready in the Valley. There are a lot of sticky bombers to contend with, but there's the rest of the gang here to help out too, including Hugie and including Theos, as now they walk forward. There's a soldier bombing in, trying to land in. That's KN, who does a massive drop.
Huge stuff from KN there, dropping the medic, making this Venomcrest game to lose here. Scout is in onto Yak, finds the pick. Menex being a hero in this game once again. It's Juno with the full buff, however, this is going to be a hard one. However, it's looking pretty good for Menex. Can he find the last hit? He could not. Juno managing to get the pack here, but he's being such an annoyance. Mid is being capped up during all of this. Finally, KN comes up and cleans him up with the mop here. They have to back out a little bit on this mid, on the side of Venomcrest during all of this, as they did look for a small little contest here, but looks like they probably have to give this up.
I didn't catch that too much. I was too focused on this back cap attempt with Menex being an absolute nuisance in the back lines, but in the meantime, Venomcrest used their Uber, and I don't think they got a great deal with it.
No, they didn't get anything with it. I think just forced on that midpoint there as they came in. They do get the capture point, so that's the bare minimum you want from that, right? Ubers are still even as well here. Both medics did not have it until, well, just about now, and it's Venomcrest making their way in through this valley area. Taram looking to push the issue here, looking to try to get some early damage, find someone in a out position, not able to find someone straight away here now. But look how deep they are. Yeah, they just want to trade this. They want to find something. Taram is going to be in behind here. That could be an
Parachute.
Hey, that parachute comes out here. However, it doesn't work when you shoot Uber players.
Yeah, unfortunately, not too many things in this game work well against Ubers. The teleporters are about the only thing that you can damage them with, and none of those are around at the moment. But with still 17 seconds left in this game, it doesn't look like we're going to have a winner in regulation. We're going to be going to Golden Cap as this last couple of Venomcrest players try and fight on here. On the second point, taunts out from Blank, and we go to Golden Cap on Metalworks.
Yeah, wow. What a first map we had there. It's been a real nail-biter. From what was looking to kind of be an ANTICIDE's core, completely kind of flipped the switch, and I felt like that last 10 minutes, it was all Venomcrest.
Oh, for sure. And again, at the end, they had the chances, right? That sync bomb from KN, that is sublime. Beautiful to see that. On these aggressive players I was talking, I was expecting ANTICIDE to walk in free-flowing. They're pushing players towards the point. They've got their own bombs flying in. And it's KN who just lands. It's a really common bomb, right? But to hit it like out of the way, just catches Theos out completely. And that turns the tide for a bit. But ANTICIDE, they're able to stabilize, and they're able to just calm it down in that final minute and think, you know what, we're not going to go stupid. We're not going to throw too much at this. We're happy to just chill, be on our own second, and let this go to Golden Cap.
Yeah, those players ending behind felt like they were a real big issue. There in like those post-Ubers for the Venomcrest side. They were cleaning them up, and they weren't like losing players, and like it wasn't completely detrimental, but it just allowed, I think, in 2 fights for the rest of the ANTICIDE team to come in and like at least get something right. Like they would get a force, or they get a couple kills, which meant they can't just snowball. And I know Yak's theory is just like take all the space you're given until they give you a reason to like not be able to take any more there, and that's exactly what they were doing. They were giving those lessons out on the side of ANTICIDE. But yeah, it was a really, really close one. How have you been feeling about these mids so far? Because I think they've been like a real pivotal like point.
I've not been too impressed with the Venomcrest mids.
No.
Like we say, they've been a bit slow, and like you say, the soldiers over on ANTICIDE have done such a great job, Charlie and Ryan, and just as soon as they get into these doorways, they're just taking the height, and they are completely locking out Venomcrest on a lot of these situations. And again, like we spoke with Ryan before. Ryan's moving to Pocket Soldier and taking the pocket rolls in these mids. Like, it took him a bit of time yesterday to get into it, but I spoke with him just earlier today. Like, he feels like he is locked in now, and we know he was one of the best roamers in Prem, if not the best roamer in Prem for these last few seasons. And now he's looking to turn his attention, and he's doing a pretty good job, I think.
Yeah, learning a new role, pretty much, if you've been like used to roamer your whole career, it's like it's a really hard thing to do.
In like 3 days.
Yeah, and it's such a testament to him as a player that he can just kind of flip a switch, play a couple scrims, get a bit more used to it. It's basically a whole new team, and just perform to the level that he has been able to has been so good. However, the other player I've got to mention on the side of ANTICIDE is Menex.
Oh, he's been so good.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely fantastic. Like I say, it's just exactly what you want from a flank scout, right? Like, there, when the team needs him to be with the combo, taking the fights, taking distraction, taking fights and doing damage, but also like getting behind, being a nuisance, going for back caps, and honestly, like, I don't know, whenever I'm watching, whenever we go into Menex's camera and he's killing things, I swear nobody's ever looking at this guy. He's just shooting people in the side, in the back, from wherever. And that's just exactly what you want. It makes the job for the combo so much easier when you've got a flank player capable of doing that.
I think it's just really good coordination and understanding kind of how your combo plays and the comms. I mean, Menex on Theos, they have a history together.
For a long time.
They've played for like a good few seasons together now. And then I think just understanding the comms and knowing from how your other players are calling that this is an opportunity, this is what I should go for, or knowing the heads-up play and communicating that to the team that this is what I'm going to do, you need to make pressure now, and them listening to it is probably a critical reason why he's having so much success. On the side of Venomcrest, I think it's got to be KN for me who's been putting up a performance. I mean, it's not just that drop, it's just he's shut down so many pushes by just hitting like 2 direct rockets that like only KN hits.
He's just so consistent with it. I don't know how
scary.
he does it. It's outrageous. The guy just like, I don't know, every single rocket is a direct, and I just don't know what it is. It's just he's just so good at it.
5,000 hours on MG or something silly
That
like
probably
that.
helps. That probably does help.
Thousands of TF2 center games, but yeah, no, he's just super consistent, and I think he was kind of been around that top Prem scene for a little bit, but I kind of think this Venomcrest team is where he's found his home a little bit more, and I think he performs really well, especially with Tiram as his duo. However, enough talking from us. We are going into the Golden Cap of this first map here. Ben, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, here we go. One more round to see who takes this first map of Metalworks. 10 minutes to play, and if no winner is found, we go to the fabled Golden Mid fight, as this mid is underway. The Golden Cap mid fight now. Ryan bombing in very, very aggressive, and Charlie. And I was giving praise in that talk there about these soldiers from ANTICIDE, but they have been deleted instantly. And look at the health on the rest of ANTICIDE. They are all so damn weak, and they are chased all the way back to house, all the way back even further. Medic's very weak underneath. Look at the space that Venomcrest are able to gain with this.
Yeah, Crits comes out as well. Yak managing to find a kill there. Fios is on 90% Uber charge here, so they know now that that's a crits. They know now that they don't need to be so worried. They could go into them and do something aggressive if they want, but you're on your own last here. Do you go for something here? Looks like they want to go for a force play. They're just coming in from every door. Soldier
Still
bombs
on
in onto Fios.
Oh, the bomb!
Gets the force.
This is massive, right? Because now there's still crits, I guess, but at least crits against nothing that's workable, right? Once you've got this Uber stripped away from Theos, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah, you can't
I just wonder
pop.
how. The thing is, though, right? Like, even with crits add, how are they going to push? Like, what's the plan?
Just kill some people. I think it's as simple as that, right? You have to find a doorway that someone is playing too close to. You have to find that early pick, and then you just spam down the sentry gun from like far away. I think that is essentially all they can really do here. But they've got medics on sniper as well. It's going to be so hard to get past here. Looks like they want to walk in through this right-hand door, and instantly takes a shot to the body. There's Yak, can't find anything. 2 soldiers going down. They have to hightail it out of there. Venomcrest. Oh, it's a hard one.
It's so rough because you've got to think here, had they just not run crits to mid, like as the crits before, right, they killed Blank. I think they were going to kill Blank anyway, regardless of the crits. It's one of those, they've gone for the play, and they've almost won too much anyway for crits to work. They wanted that mid to be a bit more competitive, a bit more balanced, for them to get value of the crits later on, but like, ANTICIDE all just died, right? So you take the space, and then you're stuck on enemy last with crits. It's not ideal at all. But what they have got to mix things up with here is a spy over on Vanu. Has been checked. Charlie well aware of this possibility. But is Vanu going to perhaps get someone caught out early? Going to decloak, going to walk in, going to go for the sap. And now we see the crits come in. Synchronized does not get anything so far.
Yeah, not able to get anything with this crit. It's just a Tiram Vanu death. I did like the idea of the sap and sack, I think, or well, the sap and crits, I guess. I think that was a good change up of pace here. However, not able to get anything other than the use of that Uber. However, that once again gives them a crit advantage to play with, which could be pivotal if Yak can hit a couple of stickies.
It is literally down to just Yak hitting something, though, and I think it's a really tough job because, especially when there's a sniper who can kill the medic or the demo instantly in these critzers, or even just a soldier who just lands on that spot.
Yeah.
Like, it's the age of play. If you're crits, you're not invulnerable. You take the normal amount of damage, and the normal amount of damage walking through a choke point can be quite a lot.
Yeah, it looks like the crits comes out. Everyone is jumping here, there, and everywhere, trying to find something. Not really able to get too much K in. And on the background gets Ryan, however. A couple of kills coming out, and they are still in this fighting here. And these are a good few players. They're actually killing absolutely everyone. Last couple of players coming onto this point. However, KN doing so much damage. Good clean up, and they actually managed to clean them up on the side of ANTICIDE. Clutch stuff coming out from Charlie and Menix there. Wow, they just needed to slow it down on Venomcrest. They had players up, they had heals with them. They didn't need to rush the point so fast, and now it's ANTICIDE to lose here. They're managing to get the second point, but there's a refight coming in straight away.
I thought they had it for a moment. I think Venomcrest did too. They were going to get ahead of themselves, as was I, and they just threw themselves over onto the point, but not to be. Now at least Eon back up. Theos died, so even Ubers, and it's going to be even stock Ubers for both these teams. Eon now back with the regular Medigun, so if they do get these advantage situations into last, it gets a whole load easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Being invulnerable, turns out, it's really, really good in this game. So I think being on the Medigun, definitely the correct decision. However, they have the fabled challenge of getting onto this second point. Uber's coming up for both teams here. We'll see what they can do. They've been pretty good at getting these soldiers in and doing a lot of damage on Venomcrest, so wouldn't be too surprised if they do just kind of send a double in here. They like sending Ken to do a lot of damage with this Tyram bomb. Here it comes in straight onto the medic, and it's an easy force for Tyram.
Am I critical for saying that might be a little bit soft on the force, right? I think that second rocket hadn't been fired, and Theos already using the Uber very, very early on about 100 HP. Yes, the first rocket was nice, but the cleanup was there. That the ANTICIDE defenders were doing their job, and they were able to quickly clean up the bombing soldier. As now Venomcrest, they have a big advantage, and it is the stock Uber. They can walk this one up, they can claim the point, and they are going to get second for free for now. They're going to have an advantage into the last point. Venomcrest, this is their chance to take this golden cap.
Yeah, we saw them get so close before here, but full Uber advantage. Theos been building exceptionally though, already on 80%, so could come out in the post of this fight if they're not so careful. No one able to play the point, sacrifices his life, but there's a soldier up on Batman, gets the kill here, and now the kills all to the side of ANTICIDE. Eon managing to survive for now. Can he make his way out, or can ANTICIDE manage to capitalize on this full Uber advantage?
Right. I'll admit, if I'm Yak in that position, we saw Yak's POV right on the stream there. We watch Yak. If I am Yak there, I am fuming. Like, Yak did everything in that Uber. Yak had both of those spawns shuttered off completely. The heavy did nothing. The medic couldn't leave spawn. Nobody got out. But the soldiers on Batman did so much work. ANTICIDE again, the soldiers digging in where it counts. And they keep them in this first map of Metalworks. Now with an Uber out of their own, they're walking forward onto mid, and they are going to cap this one out.
Yeah, instantly get pick onto Vanu. They've also got one in behind of KN. Will lose his life here, and it's just the rest of the Venomcrest side having to back out for now. However, they are going to be coming up with an Uber advantage here, but maybe this is the perfect time to go for an off-timing sack if you are the side of ANTICIDE. Maybe you try to go for something, but it looks like they're just
down.
Yeah, it looks like they just want to chill for a second.
Yeah, it's kind of understandable, right? If they haven't got the position, they want to play this disad here and just focus on building, right? Because they know that Theos is 50 disad, but they're going to have to maybe give up mid, but nothing too more than this. So all eyes on if they try and get this force out over onto Eon. Medic's been caught out early. Tells me the chance of a force now is pretty darn slim.
Yeah, especially as the rest of the team has made their way all the way back to their second here. A nice second pick here. 2 players down. Junu bringing out the taunts here. He's feeling good about that one. And look at this. They just completely give it up for free here on the side of ANTICIDE. Ubers have evened up during all of this, so it's going to have to be some sack attempts. And with only 2 minutes remaining, they need to make something work, and it needs to be fast. It's a high bomb in from KN, followed up by Tyram on the point here with the 2x capture. So much coming out onto the heavy. He dies here. Can anyone else get in? Can anyone else get towards that cap? It doesn't look like they'll manage to. Oh, but that was ever so close.
The thing is, there's still a demo and a heavy down here. I know there's no soldiers to take space here for Venomcrest, but they can stick around and they can try and make something work, make something happen. But no, the lack of spam, the lack of projectiles is going to mean Venomcrest decide they're just going to call it quits for now. Still a minute and 45 seconds left in this game to try and squeeze out something. Venomcrest have been on top the entirety of this golden cap. All the chances have been theirs, and now they have one last go.
Here they go, straight onto the point. Once again, there's a soldier there to meet them. Absolutely cleans up shop. Ryan is no fool there. He watched the French game. He knew that strategy as well. You're not fooling him twice now. And now it's really down to the last maybe push, to be honest. You can maybe get a push, and then if you don't really kill too many people, like, or die too many, you can try for that refight, but it's going to be so hard. They're just going to have that sentry gun up. There has to be a bit of a miracle for the Venomcrest side, otherwise we're going to a golden mid.
We absolutely are. 1 minute left to play. Even Ubers, these situations, they can take a long time. They can really be squeezed out here on Metalworks. It's not an easy map to sack into, and they're deciding, you know what, Venomcrest, they don't have the time to sack. They're going to use it with their Uber charge. Theos just hold steady so far, uses so much later. Menex, hugely in this Uber. This Uber heavy is going to take it so long to move. The refight can come in from Venomcrest now, but they're down 2 players, and they're really struggling to get in through these doorways. ANTICIDE holding tight for now.
Yeah, this heavy just does so much work if you leave him unchecked here. and they lose nearly everyone. Yak, he's got 30 seconds remaining. He decides, I don't want to go for this. If they build this, they can get it, but it's going to be ever so close here.
There's so little time. It's going to take another 20 seconds to get the Uber. I think they're basically getting it on 0. Remember, it doesn't go to any sort of overtime or anything. As this clock hits 0, doesn't matter if you're 3/4 capped on the point, it will be round over. There's still a heavy. Tyram tries to bomb in towards the point, does his job. KN bombs in 2. They're all just getting completely deleted by this heavy. And we're going to be going all the way to a golden mid fight.
Our second golden mid of the day here, Ben, and what an exciting one it has been. These teams so evenly matched during this. It's just been crazy. They've been so back and forth. It feels like Venomcrest have had so many opportunities, but they've just been thwarted by this ANTICIDE team.
They absolutely have, and I've got to say I really feel for them. The fact they got stuck on crits, their best chances they had were when it was crits add into last, which is just so unfortunate. As soon as Eon came back onto the Uber, I don't think they had a single Uber ad push. Or a real proper one where it was a full ad and Theos wasn't getting it later on. I just think it must feel awful, right? You get those situations right at the start and you win mid too well.
Yeah.
That you just can't use your crits.
Yeah, it just makes them feel despondent here. However, we're going to a golden mid here. Golden mids kind of feel like two ways. You either you are playing the perfect passive mid. You are absolutely focused on the exact same player. You are hitting every shot. You're doing all the spam. You're denying people. Or you're sending 3 players in for a bomb, essentially, and you are just going balls to the wall. And to be honest, with these two teams, I think we're going to see one of each.
And the thing is, we're not going to have to wait long to find out because the teams are already rolling out. Map 1, we couldn't separate them in regulation. We couldn't even separate them in Golden Cap. So here we go, one last mid-fight. Whoever captures this middle point takes the first map of this best of 3. We see Yak already, faster to mid this time on the right-hand side, doing good damage. KN trading out 1-for-1 in enemy connector with Charlie, and now it's all about these fights over towards the point, all about the spam. Who takes too much damage?
Look at this scout, just stood on point this entire time. They have to either focus him or focus the other players. Gets nearly 3/4 of the time before they can respond on the side of Venomcrest. Yes, crits on both teams. No, it's only on one team. They didn't go. Uber is on 90% on the side of Venomcrest. They have to back out. They have it coming back in. Now they're invincible. They need to get this player off a point. However, the rest of the side of ANTICIDE, they have to back up here. A blank does go down. That's no pocket scout. And look at this. They're all standing on point. They're stacking it. The free fight going to come in from ANTICIDE on this left-hand side door. What can they do? Soldiers bombing in, but they're instantly denied here. Looks like it's going towards Venomcrest. These players too low to do anything. All they have to do now is stand on this point. If you're Venomcrest, QG though coming in tries to make something of it, but it's all Venomcrest, baby.
It all is. What a fight from them. And you know what I love? I love the fact they came up on Uber. Nobody ever comes up on Uber on a golden mid, but Eon does it. They're able to completely mitigate that crits from Theos, and it is absolutely toothless. And as soon as the Uber rolls across the point, the ground is retaken, and despite the cap time that ANTICIDE had, Venomcrest just played the tail end of that fight so well. And I've got to say, it's kind of deserved, right? Like, they were the better team for all of Golden Cap. And despite the fact that, yes, they were outplayed for a lot of regulation, like, towards the end of that series, Venomcrest really got on a roll. But I've got to say, we can sit and talk forever. We've got an analyst desk sat waiting for us. They'd love to dissect it. It's been 45 minutes of TF2 for them to sit and enjoy. So take us away, Turbo.
I didn't get to sit and enjoy that. I had to stand and enjoy it. I've been in the box, I've been in the players, I've been suffering. But it's been good TF2 to watch. It's very back and forth. They're very tenacious, this Venomcrest lot, aren't they, Condawg? 2-0 down and they made it back.
Yeah, they've been clawing their way back into these games, Turbo. They're not giving up. These aren't the weak, feeble minds that maybe you think they are. You know, Yak, I'm sure he's corralling the troops, getting his KN on the beam, getting his Junu to really take those nice Ubers. But yeah, I mean, we've got to talk about that golden mid. We saw Eon with Uber to golden mid.
Brave.
Probably one of the craziest choices I've seen, but it paid off. And yeah, they take map 1. I mean, map 1, Turbo. This is a best of 3. We could have 2 more maps of this. It could be a long, long evening.
Surny, ANTICIDE picked this Metalworks. What do you think they saw in this Metalworks map? Were ANTICIDE playing better than usual? Did they just not have the marathon in them?
I think I was honestly surprised with how well they were playing at the start. I did not expect them to come out that strong, swinging that much. I mean, clearly Venomcrest not that comfortable. at least at the start on Metalworks, having to gruelingly fight their way back to a grueling golden cap. So like, they weren't looking comfortable for a long time. Eventually they got there, and now that they're headed into their map pick, you know, maybe that momentum obviously suits them. But ANTICIDE were looking a lot stronger than I expected them to be. Like, I think having only seen them since, like, not seen them at all since yesterday, I think Charlie's been looking a lot stronger. He's assimilated very well into that team over the past 24 hours. I think they've been looking really good. It's honestly a shame with how closely matched these teams are and how good they are that one of them has to go home. One of them is eliminated after this.
Condawg, it's got to be something to be said about Venomcrest's ability to come back here. They seem to lose out a couple of rounds, but adjusting and then getting those rounds back in a game of TF2, a game in nature where it's easier to defend than it is to attack. Do you think this puts ANTICIDE in like a doubtful place right now if they can't like win it when they've got 2 rounds above them on their map pick? How the hell are they supposed to beat them on their map pick?
I mean, Turbo, I was stood behind them for a little bit. I was in the ANTICIDE room, the room where it happens. That one's for the theatre fans. And, you know, the mood was, it was okay. It wasn't great. You know, they were happy with the rounds they were getting. There was a great nice when they won their first round. It was in sync, it was in unison. It was fantastic to listen to. But, you know, they need to recover fast. We're going to map 2. I think they think that this is theirs to lose. You know, they're coming in as, you know, the 4th seed in TF2. ANTICIDE, Venomcrest are, you know, below them in the tables. But Yak is like that. He takes points off these top teams, and we'll have to see what happens later on.
Meanwhile, I went over to the Venomcrest booth, and they were the opposite of nice. It was more like, don't go sniper, don't die Yak, don't do this, don't do that. I mean, it keeps working though, Surny. They don't. They kind of cut out the negative of their gameplay really quickly. Is there something to be said about like just telling it how it is?
Like, we were talking about the safe strats before this, right? Teams bring out the strats they've been saving, and I feel like Venomcrest, at least for the first like 5 minutes, were pulling their whole deck on the table. Heavy to mid first round, Yak spy almost happening again with the double spy play before he backs out last second, so clearly, you know, they were trying to hold it back. Maybe their safe strat is playing the game normally. Maybe that's what they've been waiting for the whole time. The Venomcrest switch up that nobody expected is that they can actually play a normal game of 6v6, and it's going to catch everybody out.
All right, gentlemen, we've got Gullywash coming up as our next map. Condawg, this is the map pick from Yak. What do you think he sees in this Gullywash map pick?
I think he's thinking about the mid, Turbo. Obviously, Hughie, it's his first season on Demo Man. We have to remember that. Yak, he's been a staple of the scene on Demo for at least 10 years, it feels like. He's always been loitering around this bottom prem kind of ranking. And Gullywash, it's a story of the Demo men. You know, they're the first ones to mid. Any good Demo man can lock out the other team with ease. You know, getting lots of little pipe damage. I remember the days of lock and load. I know it's banned here, but you catch so many pipes in that big door, and it's just a Demo man map. And apart from that, you got to turn to the lasts as well. One of the easiest lasts to break, and I think Yak, with that sort of commanding, manly voice of his, you know, he'll just be taking over the server, and he'll be breaking apart these ANTICIDE boys. I'm Venomcrest all the way.
Surny, obviously, he says it's a Demo Man map. The soldiers have a good time on here as well, but those soldiers, they're looking obviously a little bit weaker with Charlie. He's, you know, not the most... I know he's getting in better as the tournament goes on, but he's not the sharpest soldier here in the LAN event. Is this going to be kind of like the noose around the neck for ANTICIDE, this LAN?
I mean, any soldier duo comparing to KN and Tyram is always going to be nasty, right? Those two are a menace on any map, especially a map like Gullywash where soldiers get a little bit more free reign. But they're not the be-all, end-all. It's not like Granary. It's not like where they're the absolute necessity. Your scouts can still make up for slack on this map. And if there's a scout duo that can do some of that picking up slack, Menix, Blank, they're solid. Like, they're really, really solid. And honestly, besides a bit of Juno sniping, the scouts were a bit quiet for Venomcrest last map, in my opinion. We did not see a lot out of Varnu at all. Juno, beyond the sniping, I mean, I didn't see much out of him either. So, I mean, maybe the scout diff could make up for that soldier teetering the other way, right? I don't know. It's certainly an angle to look at, in my opinion.
All right, Condawg, we've got to address that elephant in the room, or maybe I should say the elephant class, heavy weapons guy. They like to run it, they like to eat their steak, and they like to just dart this heavy weapons guy to the midpoint. Are we going to see this, or are they done with that strat over on Venomcrest?
I mean, Turbo, a bit of a classic on Gullywash is the old heavy sniper to mid on big door. The only issue is Vanu can't play both classes at the same time, you know? And obviously, who's the other scout? Junu. He's a scout player. He's not an off class. He maybe a little bit of sniper, maybe, but it's Vanu. He's the magic maker on the team. So I think, you know, it's especially on Gullywash where you're going to be rolling out to the low ground, coming out on big door. I don't think it's going to be on this map. But, you know what Gullywash is famous for with a Yak on team? Yak Spy. I'm predicting a Yak Spy this game.
I mean, right now, I don't know what it is. I think Yak had that one clip on Spy, and he's finding any excuse to go on it. I don't think it's even like just regular Spy work. You see him like going these sorts of clash checking as well. And also, I've noticed they've done a couple of things I don't think many teams opt to do because it's kind of a ball ache, which is you have two classes rocking the same sort of class at the same time. So, for example, you know, when they've got like a spy up, they'll have like Yak on spy for a little bit. So when they're doing that clash checking on the opposing team and they're flicking between Yak and Vanu on this spy, you're not really trusting those clash checks anymore. That's some tech there, Surny. Have we seen any other teams do that? Am I out of touch?
That is some tech. Unfortunately, if it doesn't work, then they know they have two spies, and they know one of those spies is Yak, and then they know there's no demo, so they
might just assume like they're running two spies. Yeah,
like it could work to confuse them, but it could also really backfire. And at this point, I feel like most teams will know that this double spy, especially with Yak on the spy, is a potential that just comes out of Venomcrest sometimes. So,
all right, boys, I'm itching to see what is actually going to happen. There's so much tech, there's so much theory. Let's see what the actual is. Let's throw it over to our casters for our second map of Venomcrest versus ANTICIDE.
Good throw. Thank you very much there, Turbo. Wow, what a game we just had. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, get back on the VOD because you just missed an absolute banger, a golden mid there, going all the way. Venomcrest versus ANTICIDE. And you know the best thing? That was only our first map, Ben. Now we're going into Gullywash.
Still potentially 2 more maps to play. Venomcrest 1 round up. The loser of this goes home from Poland empty-handed. Both these teams want to be fighting on, but this might be the last map we see from ANTICIDE, which is a shocking thing to think. They're 4th in Prem.
Yeah, absolutely. They've kind of come here. They made the best out of a bad situation, and they are playing it close with this Venomcrest team here. I think this Venomcrest team, you can never count them out, though. They show up to LAN every single time, and there's always a little bit of magic going on here. They were talking over on the desk how, you know, there was one player in particular, Vanu, coming out with these off classes that has the magic, but I think everyone has the magic on this team here. And we're now Gullywash, a very, very soldier-heavy map. You know what, that sounds good for absolutely everyone. These soldiers are insane on both teams.
Man, like, I don't know, both these teams have got absolutely cracked players and soldiers. We saw a lot of that last map, and hopefully we'll be seeing a lot of that one here. But yeah, Gullywash round number 2, it's pivotal for ANTICIDE to get themselves in the game. I know they've had to shuffle around their soldiers. We've got Ryan moving over to Pocket. We've got Charlie de-rusting, playing the game for the first time in 3 months and the first time at a top level in God knows how long. But they're meeting it, and they are popping off. And another name that I think slipped under the radar, right? Did you know that at the start of that game, Hugie was going 11-0?
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, on Demo Man as well.
Last game, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a real stat line. I think at the start of that game, he really had things under control. I think he was absolutely diffing Yak on the mids, especially. And I think he was playing it really, really conservative. But as the game went on, as they were pushed more and more towards their last, it didn't feel like he was able to really have that impact. It was more in the region of those snipers. And he just had to play the slow, solid game. And yeah, I think unfortunately he couldn't really shine towards the end there. But Gullywash, this can be a real demo map as well. Demos can really be unleashed, especially on these mids. If you're just like hitting a med for 100, he has no chance of surviving. You can win a mid in about 5 seconds if you're just absolutely cracked on demo.
Especially if you're so fast, you can just sticky them off before they can even get into position out of big door. You can do an absolute nuke. The amount of times you see teams getting caught in elbow, soldier lands one end, stickies on the other end, no way of getting through. And we might be seeing that. We might be seeing completely different. What we are going to be seeing is Gullywash. Map number 2. Teams have readied up. Rollouts are commencing. It's do or die. ANTICIDE could be the last map of their campaign here in Łódź. They need to fight on, and they need to win this map.
Yeah, this is all to play for in our second map of this lower bracket. Both teams rolling out. A couple of players on floor here. Looks like ANTICIDE want to play more on the high ground, whereas Venomcrest want to be a little bit of everywhere. Scouts already in, super aggressive into their backline, but it allows ANTICIDE to walk forward here. Early pick onto Junu, losing KN as well. The picks looking pretty good towards ANTICIDE, but they lose Fios during all this. Eon still alive, backing out into this big door area, but that's not the right big door, my friend. That is the opposite team's big door, so now you need to play this uber advantage, and they're getting so much cap time on this ANTICIDE team here. They might just be able to go forward, catch these spawners, and make things very, very difficult.
This is incredibly scary because the forward spawns will come in, and this team, whilst they're caught off, they're actually going to go for the submarine. I do like this somewhat if they're able to use this Uber to maybe get out, or perhaps they might even be able to just not use their Uber at all. They're getting forced eventually, but now this means they're going to claim mid, and honestly, like, in these situations where you're Uber ad and you get forced very, very early, like, that's better than being forced in 20 seconds time, because these Ubers now, like, yes, Theos has ad, but it's not like crazy ad.
It's about 30% advantage here, right?
I think it's usable, but
wow. We saw it be used twice by Fios on about this sort of Uber advantage here. So they're obviously not scared on these anti-side teams to take these smaller Uber advantages that maybe some other teams wouldn't feel super comfortable with. I think they're quite confident about finding that medic, locking him down here. So I would not be surprised if anti-side go for something. And they are sending a lot of players close to this choke here. They are definitely looking for something.
They absolutely are. And the Uber charge is used in. Hugie, Blank, Theos, the gang charging across onto this point. They might catch a couple of these flank players in at the tail end of this Uber, but Venomcrest have got their own Uber ready to fling themselves in with, and they are finding the frags without even using the Uber. They hold on to mid, and now things can really start to spiral in the Snake's favour. The grasp of it constricts around ANTICIDE. They're capping up second point, and they haven't even used.
I think there's a boa constrictor in this server, and it's the scout combo just absolutely cleaning up the players on ANTICIDE here. And now, as you said, it's going to be a full Uber push here. They are looking poised to get in through this shutter. Uber is used here, going to get straight onto the gun. Put some stickies onto the top area here. So smart from Yak here, locking down this right-hand spawn. He's doing absolute work for his team. There's still a demo man in that lower water area. It's Vanu to try to come in and do something along with the soldier man, getting on the cap time, and it's an easy, easy round for Venomcrest.
That sticky trap from Yak is genius.
I actually love that.
People are probably using it all the time. I don't feel like I've seen that before. Just trapping off the area above where you know the soldier's going to bomb into point, and that soldier takes like, what, 150 damage from those stickies?
Was dead
it's just
from that, yeah.
instantly over. What a push from Venomcrest, straight in. And all it is, they get that one fight on mid, they roll it all the way through, no messing at all from Venomcrest. They've capped up last, they're a round up, and this time on map number 2, the momentum has continued for Venomcrest.
Yeah, let's see if they change something up a little bit here, because last time they kind of just let players get up and about, but actually it's a scout going through drop down once again here. Is on the backline. It's going to be causing chaos. Soldiers bombing forward for the side of ANTICIDE. It's an early pick onto Junu. However, Ryan should be traded out here. KN obliterating him. However, all the space is looking ANTICIDE here. Scout in behind, trying to get something done. Vanu, however, unable to get anything. Eon gets out during all this, but actually they look like they maybe want to stay in here, somehow take down Shuji during all of this. KN just wants to keep this train rolling here against 2 scouts. You would see no other soldier do this other than KN.
The thing is, I'm watching KN, like, early this mid, he's hitting every direction, right? Like, why would you not want to stay in this situation? If you're hitting everything, of course, you just want to fight. You want to keep hitting the shots and keep doing the damage, but it's ANTICIDE who pull the trigger with their Uber first. Yak, Tiram, KN, all the explosives actually falling in this post Uber, and things are collapsing at the seams now for Venomcrest. They're the ones on the back foot, they're the ones being chased out. Eon goes down, and it is a full wipe here on the second point. ANTICIDE, this is their ticket back into this game, stickying last already.
Yeah, really nice stabilization from ANTICIDE, and already huge damage coming out from Huge G. It's in the name, fellas. You should not be testing this man. ANTICIDE quickly responding, bringing us to a 1-1. This has been a fast Gullywash so far. If the game stays like this, oh baby, I can't wait.
That's exactly what ANTICIDE needed. They needed to bounce back. It's been so long across Metalworks and the first part of Gullywash. The ANTICIDE have been on the back foot, and now the one moment they get of an advantage, they completely obliterate Venomcrest in that trade after the mid-fight, and they do not mess about at all. They're straight on last, straight winning it, and straight into this third mid-fight.
Yeah, they've got to change something here because they know about this scout who wants to go in through under here on the side of Venomcrest. And they change it by just getting 2 picks straight out of the bat. Ryan does manage to get 1 for his troubles here. However, it's looking pretty dire here for the rest of ANTICIDE. However, getting that pick maybe lets them do a little bit more here. These double scouts can be brutal here. Fios only on 7% Uber here, so not going to feel so confident about going through this trade. Good damage from the stickies as well will slow these scouts down just a little bit. But Ryan, he's still in the back here.
Yeah, still being a bit of a menace, still doing a bit of poke damage, and they've got a scout in as well, onto the middle point, doing lots of damage over towards Yak, and Ryan takes the opportunity to bomb back in. Uber charge used, though, from both of these sides now, as everyone tries to jostle for position, but Medics and Ryan, the flank that went in to get that Uber force in the first place, are the ones dead as the dust settles on this Uber. As Venomcrest, they're a player up for a moment, and they now might be tempted to try and walk forward a bit.
Yeah, rotating around to this big door area here. Looking to take a player up onto this high ground, spot out. It's going to be no Ubers on either teams. It's not going to be a forced play. It's going to have to be raw kills only.
It is, and the sort of the tiny window of opportunity, it was tiny, the opportunity of when those spawners were coming up, when there was maybe a gap to try and go in, that opportunity's faded, it's gone. Now, Tiram's already gone down. Not going to be too much of an attempt at a repush here from ANTICIDE off of the back of that 1 pick. So Venomcrest now, they can take their time, they can set themselves up. There's plenty of things we can try. Most of it involves getting someone through Baby Door and into River or something like that, but there's obviously other things we can try, no off classes as of yet. And it's going to be KN bombing in through the choke actually, and getting air shot down by Theos.
Juno going down during this as well has made an opportunity here for the rest of ANTICIDE to make their way in here, and they've just given it up completely for free on the side of Venomcrest. Looks like they want to take a trade here. It is going to be looking actually really, really good for the Venomcrest side. However, there's still 2 players down, so this refight is going to be ever so hard, and they have to just leave all the way. 1 player in behind here, can't find anything. Tiram taken down by Ryan there, and now this is just 1 less player that's going to be with this combo here, making it just a little bit more hard for Venomcrest to stay in here. KN hitting some lovely rockets though. However, it's going to get chased down by a scout. No,
Fears.
Aura.
I'd
Aura.
fear. I'd fear in that position. Ain't no way I'm taking that fight. But again, on that trade on mid, honestly, really well played there from Eon, right? I was really worried that Eon was going to get caught on the way out, but had timed the Uber to perfection. That the Uber was just fading as he was getting safe around the corner. And off the back of 1 pick, Venomcrest thinking about going for this. They're grouping in Big Door.
Yeah, a lot of players in Big Door here, maybe just looking for some tags, someone who they think can go down here, not really finding anything straight away. However, so maybe just need to reset things here a little bit. Uber should be coming up on Eon, evening us up here on the Ubers. So it's going to be on the side of ANTICIDE trying to get something going. We haven't seen them in this situation yet where they need to just kind of bust into the second here. Looks like they're thinking the Big Door.
We haven't seen much of stalemates at all, to be quite honest, so far this map. It's been a lot of looking back and forth, flip-flop across these points. But now ANTICIDE going to grind to a halt for a moment and try and sneak their way in from the Big Door area. Try and just take some ground, maybe try and get someone into Baby Door, maybe try and get someone into Lobby, try and get a soldier in. That's going to be Charlie who's bombing around and gets denied here. But 2 frags going the way of Venomcrest. With Medics in behind, this could get a little bit weird.
Yeah, they've decided to take a little bit of space on this midpoint as they are fighting it out. Neither team uses Uber, but actually dropping Vanu there is Eon. Hasn't had to use the Uber. It's something nice to say here. However, it's making it very, very difficult. It was KN trying to get in, make a miracle play, unable to do it. Cleaned up by Charlie on the flank as well now. So what was looking like a great opportunity has turned absolutely awful for Venomcrest, but they're still fighting this in tooth and nail. Soldier bombs come in. You can't drop these players. Eon uses the Uber here. Can they find any picks? They can. It's straight onto Ryan here, but they are flooding in from every single door on ANTICIDE. But they're holding strong here. KN and Eon somehow surviving throughout all of this. It's basically just a single scout left in.
It absolutely is. And now these last remaining players in ANTICIDE are going to have to run back, tail between legs, all the way out onto this middle point, and I'm not sure how long they're able to stay here. Hugie only just spawning in, but to be fair, Yak only just spawning in too. Maybe they can actually mount some kind of defense. The pace wasn't quite there from Venomcrest. Had to heal up first and had to get themselves staged, and in that time, ANTICIDE have got their spawners in. And we're back where we were about 2 minutes ago here, right? ANTICIDE, even Ubers, still plenty of time to work with, and they can slow things down. They can potentially go for some kind of behind play, but last time we weren't waiting here long before soldiers were flown.
No, absolutely not. I think you don't push through that choke because you're so worried about the spawners coming afterwards. It just makes it so much more difficult here. There's a challenge going on in lobby here. It's KN winning out that first rock. He's got a second soldier at 4 HP here. Surely wins out. That's Charlie going down. KN just keeps opening up these opportunities on the flank. And then Juno keeps dying in the Uber exchanges. So it's not great.
Yeah, too busy eating the pizza on the desk there. Not able to be kept alive. As Venomcrest now looking actually pretty good in the post fight here, because Yuji and Theos both get caught out in that trade, and now only 3 players left alive. They're trying to block mid, they're trying to go for some kind of play here. 1 scout on mid in Menex, 1 soldier bombing in Charlie, gonna try and land on top of Eon, on top of Yak, but can't find anything yet. Just Menex alive, surely not gonna get anything here.
Yeah, no, this is a near impossible situation for Menex. He always survives scarily long here. During all of this, however, it's
so good.
Yeah. But it's coming up Venomcrest now, right? They are getting in through this choke. However, Vanu instantly dies from traps from Hugie. So it's been messy so far from this Venomcrest side. They are getting these advantages, but it feels like they're losing players now.
What's happening in River?
In a bit of a corner, but somehow isn't dying. What? Yeah, actually, what is going on?
What is this? Yak just bombs behind everyone in River, and somehow for Venomcrest, this is working. Yak can catch them on the retreat. Goes for 1, goes for 2, goes for 3 on the pipes. Does not connect onto Theos yet, but Hugie's down, Ryan's down. The cap will start coming through. Can these spawners get here in time? It doesn't look like it. There's a pile up on this last point for ANTICIDE. Can they get the bodies in there? There's melees out on the medics. Everyone is going down, but ANTICIDE, they look like they're stabilizing. They look like they are hanging on by their fingertips.
Wow, insane stuff from Menex there. Just hits absolutely every shot he needed to. I feel if that medic stays alive for a little bit longer of Eon and can like get his players healthy or maybe just get like a kill with a head, it's over there. There's no chance you get it. But Menex, he is fire under the pressure there, and he makes them clinch on for dear life and lets them get this second point as well. And not only that, Theos is already up on the Uber as well, so surely they're going to convert mid. Got to be careful of this Berserk Gremlin, though.
What is this position? What, like, in the gillies, you're all gillied up there on the mid point, and not going to manage to get too much value out of it. That is a creative strat. I have literally never seen that
Have
before.
you not? I've seen it before, but it's...
I've not seen it on Sniper. I've seen it on other classes. I've never on Sniper.
Yeah, not the play that works that often. I think it's quite well known, that Bush spot, unfortunately. And look at this, last to last, coast to coast for ANTICIDE. And they have the pressure. They've got a pick here. They can try to go for a sack, get Eon force. However, that's not what happens at all, as they're just going to use the Uber in onto last here, try to make chaos happen here, get their players in. However, it's not looking great. They're not really taking the space.
There's 2 picks, 3
in
picks.
water, though. They came from water. No one's watching it.
They went through water. They managed to get a scout over point to meet up in water, and the reclaps after the Uber was so good because 2 players got caught out outside of the Uber, and it's all well and good. Eon using so late onto Yak, milking for ages, but it means the rest of the team are in such dire trouble. Venomcrest punished on the last point, and ANTICIDE, they're making the chaos work in their favor, playing the point to perfection here and capping it out under the noses of ANTICIDE. We saw Venomcrest try it a minute ago, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. There's still plenty of time to play with Double Bomb
Very fast.
instantly coming in there. Not able to get too much. Yuji, the only victim of these bombs here. Again, in a weird place is Eon. He's once again in the other team's big door. And with this time, Fios also being alive just makes things also much more difficult.
This is very weird. This is very, very odd.
No, sorry, this
now,
is
we
blue side.
see players jumping in onto the second point. There's going to be Demo Man down still for Venomcrest. Means no sticky traps to be watched out for. But Charlie getting a bit eager there, trying to bomb in onto Eon, who has taken the pack. So that means now Venomcrest, they can stabilize. They can just chill it out on this second point. There's not this urgent rush that we saw from ANTICIDE there. Yak is back into position. Stickies are laid down. And now it's actually Venomcrest thinking about maybe trying to push forward here.
Yeah, instant aggression from Big Door. Tiram tried to go out and help his buddies in choke. However, he was baited there. No one else came through to help him. Maybe he just didn't see the opportunity on that medic and had to try to make something happen. But Blank basically counter-attacking, trying to get him through that door. Instantly crushed by Vanu and Junu there. But there's so many people in choke. There's nowhere they're able to get something here on the Venomcrest side.
They're still pressuring though, and Blank's down. And I don't know, Venomcrest, they're like, their body language is just telling me they always want to fight someone. They always want a bit of beef, right? They're always jostling for it. They always want to try and just make something work. Like you say, the space there, they're always looking to try and take it and try and punish. But ANTICIDE, they're holding their ground well, and they've decided actually this is the time for an off class. We've seen Menex on that first map on Metalworks. I don't think I ever saw this guy miss a shot.
No, he was
to be quite
actually
honest,
insane.
well, will it work on Gullywash?
Yeah, let's see what he can do here. First peek going to be in the big door, taking it slow. Can he find a head? Little jostle.
Oh, of course.
Straight onto Yak there. No one spotted him. Yak had no chance here. And now they're giving him the sightlines into this big door area. They're able to get a play behind. Trade should be coming through. Drop Menex during all of this. That's pretty dire, as they also got Charlie, who went in to the back there. And now if they just stabilize and kind of get him through all the doors, they're up 2 players advantage here. But look at this, they're taking this so slow, it's so painful. A bomb back from Tiram, they have to cancel.
There's someone underneath, I think, here on mid for Venomcrest. They're trying to go for something as funny. They're over towards this. Oh, yeah, Vanu. Oh, spotted out. Okay. The rat has been cleaned out of the elbow. I was thinking for a moment there could have been some funny business going on the flank, but now that's kind of a rough pick to lose, because down a scout going to mean there's a lot more easy room to be taken here by ANTICIDE. They're walking in, doing a lot of damage. Yak, I don't know how he dies there.
Yeah, unfortunate for Yak, no one to finish off that like 1 HP Demo Man. He does actually eventually die during all of this, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but they've essentially just given up second tier. Scout wants to come in and fight this.
They want to trade him back cap.
Oh, they are. So if you guys don't know, this point caps at the same speed as mid here, so Vanu in the back is the real threat that he wouldn't be on any other map. 135, absolutely hitting every single shot is Vanu here. As
and
he
get mid off
somehow
it.
gets out as well. Huge plays from Vanu there. This is the chaos element that works so well for Venomcrest. Sometimes these plays just work, and you're like, how does this work?
But that was such well-coordinated chaos. Not only did they have the flank coming through, they also had the rest of the combo fighting. They were pushing out through a bad choke point. They were taking a ton of damage, but they had to block that cap on second. And ANTICIDE, they knew they had to respect it. They knew the speed that the midpoint caps on this map. They had to retreat out, and they had to meet up with the rest of their team. Venomcrest now bringing up a sniper of their own. We saw Menex find 1 demo kill on this and then be taken down in an Uber. See if Vanu can have any more extended success.
Yeah, see what this sniper can do. We saw Menex opening up a fight previously in Big Door. It's going to be Vanu peeking into this choke area, maybe seeing if they can find a soldier who is maybe a little bit overextended here. Rotating into this Big Door area now is Vanu. No one really hyper peeking it. 1 scout, now he's spotted. That's the first shot. Now you're going to have everyone on your case, Vanu.
It is. There is an opportunity for a hero peek. The demo is normally the first port of call in terms of a pick, because he's the one dutied with sticky bombing them off. But we actually see ANTICIDE, they're wanting to pressure for choke. They've got a soldier in behind 2, and they really just want to like be a nuisance here. They want to make it so it's uncomfortable as possible. But the force comes in, and Theos has used Uber on this mid Uber charge trade, but Venomcrest are going to have a much better Uber here.
Yeah, they've got a fight from every single facet, but losing Theos straight away here. This couldn't be any better from Venomcrest. They could not ask for any more. Ryan is in behind, is maybe their only slight issue here, but what are you going to do here, Ryan? Oh, not much if Vanu is just going to take down Blank here, and they're just so hyper aware of him. They're not going to let him go for this backhand. They're not going to give him any space. He might retreat out of big door. Oh, but look, even that is what's here. And now Ryan is just a sitting duck, able to do absolutely nothing as the rest of the Venomcrest team. They're taking this lobby area here. They have a huge advantage. Only 30% left to build here. But Menex finds Vanu. He peeks a door at the wrong time, and Menex cleans him up. Ryan finally going down here. Isn't going to spawn before this Uber is used, so that is basically one down. It's a 5v5 here. They have stickies on point. They have a sentry gun building. It's not going to be the easiest one. Uber comes through, however, instantly onto the gun here. They want to try to play point fast. It's Junu playing onto the point here. Gets a lot of cap time. Denied by Charlie, however. The rest of the team kind of trying to come in and do anything, but they've lost Eon. There's no heals. There's no sustain, and every single player is up on the side of ANTICIDE. 2 rats though. There is one in water and one in lobby.
Does he go? He goes for this.
Yeah,
There's one player here. It's all on this fight, all on this. KN, have you been practicing your MGE, my man? He absolutely has, but it's not enough. Menex saves the day.
He's still alive.
More.
He's still fighting onto last. It's a 1v1, but Menex, clutch as ever, wins that one out.
He doesn't miss. I don't know. This guy's aim is just cracked, right? Like, that is so clutch. To realize the problem, the call comes in that the soldier on last is in trouble, and he instantly turns around and instantly starts like chip-shotting that scout on point. And look how close the cap got there. It was millimeters away on our screens.
Yeah, it was a really, really nice attempt there. From KN to get something. Would have maybe like Junu to try to come in and do something here. Menex coming up on Spy here. Is he actually staying on it, or is he just going to be checking? Looks like he's just checking for now.
And he's checking
Oh, up on Sniper, though. Vanu is up on the Spy, however. He's out of spawn. But he's known.
Yeah, they must know that Vanu's here, right? Like, this is potentially a little bit odd, right? They've got Tiram already going down. The Spy is on Invis watch and has just used the speed to go all the way behind and decloak here into the enemy side of mid. Things are going to slow down. It's all eyes on the Sniper and all eyes on Vanu the Spy, who strikes first.
Yeah, who do you watch here? It's a Spy coming in, but he's spotted instantly. So now the Sniper has one less player to worry about here. He's getting that angle in big door, but it looks like they might be poised to try to trade here, playing so close with Yak here. And they do take that trade straight away, but do they have to use at all here on Fields? He's so far out. Gonna drop Charlie during all of this. Finally has to use, and the rest of the team is hightailing it out. Sending some players in through choke during all of this, though, is gonna make things ever so much more difficult. Menex goes down in the background of all these things. Yak is cleaned up, but the rest of Venomcrest rotating round to this choke area, and they're gonna fight this, surely.
Pandemonium, absolute pandemonium here. As soon as these trades come in onto these snipers, I thought for a moment that Theos was going to be able to milk it the whole way out, but Respect there does use when he has to. But in the meantime, we've maybe overstayed a little bit here on Venomcrest. They're getting caught on this second point, and they are all going down. Yak, the sole survivor here, ANTICIDE. They are just on a steamroll here. There's one demo on last. A few spawners going to join, but 12-second respawn on Tiram, and the medic and other scout are only just spawning up now. Theos doesn't even have to rush this. They can even wait for their Uber if they really want, but it seems like already Blank wants to get in, and they want to try and push this, but that seems a little bit ambitious.
I don't like that from Blank. I don't know why he goes from it. They know they have an Uber advantage here, and they know if they keep that one player up, it's going to be a lot easier, right? Every single player matters. They just do more damage. They contribute more. It's not a great play from Blake. I think he is going to be back in time before the Uber's even up here. Aeon has not been building fantastically during all this. Uber is used in from River here. Hugie, let's see what he can find. Sticky's instantly dead, so they can play point if they want, but it's a soldier jumping in. KN finding some kills, Tiram finding some kills, but so many players on point. Can Yak find the pipes? It looks like he can. Just Fios alive, getting out through this shutters area, and it's a huge failure of a push from the side of ANTICIDE. Oh, and look at this. There's a soldier already in the choke.
They get some forward spawns to maybe help Theos here, but it's all about what they can do here. Is it going to be a good surf? No, it's a drop down to low ground. And actually, KN isn't able to get any damage at all. Very well played from Theos. And I don't know, I'm not normally one to like put people on blast, but I think that push from Blank there is a bit of a throw. I think going in so aggressive before the Uber, there was no rush. There was a clear miscommunication there on what the team was going to do. Blank going into secret core out completely kills lots of the bite of that push, and now Venomcrest have the advantage. They're the ones walking in, they're the ones using the Uber onto point, and they're the ones chasing out ANTICIDE all the way back onto their own second point. Hugie and Ryan tasked so far with trying to hold the choke, and they've done a decent job of it, but these forward spawns might be getting denied, and this momentum can continue on because Theos doesn't have an Uber.
Yeah, Theos on 75%. I think if they went in instantly after this mid cap, they maybe have more of an opportunity to go for something, but they're just going to stabilize, something we haven't really seen them do all game here on the side of Venomcrest. They're just going to go for the safe option. They're going to try to make sure that they don't get in with this Uber for free, though. KN standing on this high is such a classic play from him. They are going to be checking this, though, surely.
Just managed to jump away. Respectful, doesn't want to go for anything too stupid, doesn't want to get caught. And Hugie, in the meantime, has actually been caught. So this push out from ANTICIDE has been cancelled. What's even worse is this gives such a good chance now for Venomcrest to get in and to get some damage over towards the ANTICIDE combo. Look at this damage being dealt over towards Ryan in lobby here as well. Ryan taken down, Charlie weak 2, and now the flank is completely burst open. Venomcrest, they're walking in and they get the force.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff to get in there. KN hit a huge air shot on Ryan, means they're one less player down. And Theos is in no man's land. His Uber's ended. He's trying to go for the medic here. He assists in it with his damage, and he's somehow not dying. How has he got away with it again?
But the thing is, have they got away with it? There's only 3 players live. These spawners are 13 seconds away for ANTICIDE. This could be a barrel in. It's all about the chaos, all about the ferocity here from Venomcrest. They've got to get in. They've got to do it fast. 5 seconds before the spawners. Look at the health on these players on point. They might well get it. Venomcrest, they're on the point. It's a full wipe, and Venomcrest are back.
This feels like an exact repeat of last game, man.
What is this, man?
Two ridiculously close games. Both these teams just playing off of the absolute smallest margins. They are so ridiculously well matched here. And now, Ben, we get to go onto our 5th mid here with 4 minutes remaining. You kind of think this might be it. This might be the final round. This might be the last hurrah, potentially, for ANTICIDE if they can have a phenomenal mid on the side of VNC.
Well, it's not done until it is absolutely done here. ANTICIDE, they still have bite left in them, and they are still battling on. Remember, Venomcrest, if they win this map, ANTICIDE are eliminated. They are sent home on the next available flight, and this is not the start to the mid they were necessarily after, because Theos is caught out by KN and Venomcrest. Yes, they're 2 players up, but for 5, I guess if second point flips here, maybe you can sort of say on ANTICIDE it might be worth if they can lock out second, if they can deny any kind of push out. But with Ad, do you push out here if you're Venomcrest?
You have to, right? You have to take these opportunities. This Venomcrest side does not shy away from pushes like this. The medic's not even in. It's Big Bomb's in, but dies around, not able to catch any picks here. So it's not quite what you want. Your medic doesn't have to use, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but you have to think surely they're going to struggle to get onto mid with that 1 soldier down, or surely they're going to get force coming in at the bare minimum.
Absolutely. As that's, I don't know, these push outs, right, that was so well taken, and they know they had to take it very fast. They had to take it before the healers were there, before the buffs were there, and even though Tiram goes down, Venomcrest, they are in a good position. They've taken the point. They do have a bit of advantage left, but they don't want to rush it too hard, right? They had to wait for their spawner to come in, and they think we're much safer on our second than on our own last. We've seen them here before, and honestly, like Venomcrest in these second stalemates, they've looked great. These trades they've been taking in Big Door have been working out in their favour so well. I guess why not take this position as Venomcrest?
Yeah, they've been relatively proactive in how they like to take these things so far. It's a bomb in straight away, but huge damage. Ryan just absolutely decimated. No chance of getting in there. Taking down Charlie as well, though. That's so much less spam. That allows Big Door and Choke to be basically completely free. Your Demo Man Debts now as well. Doesn't get a single pick from it, and they just have to leave straight away here. Will they be able to deny Charlie here? Potentially 6 times on cap. 3 seconds remaining. It's close. If you do, you can maybe take a lot of space coming from this. That's exactly what they do. You're rattling in through Choke here. We're trying to get something, but Tiram instantly dies, jumping to that rock area, and they have to back out straight away on Venomcrest.
Yeah, it's a good effort there. Both soldiers down for ANTICIDE, but they do manage to stabilize. They get the spawners up, and that important kill onto Tiram does slow things down a lot. 1 minute 30 left, and I'm getting a bit of a strange sense of deja vu here, if you are not, Steve. And I think we might be teetering towards another golden cap unless Venomcrest have something crazy going on here in this last 1 minute and 20.
Yeah, absolutely here. It's so hard when the clock ticks down here. You're under such pressure. It's so easy to make mistakes here, but it is Venomcrest pressuring in through upper and big door as well. This is good positioning now. They have the height, they take the trade here. They are going to want to take this deep, wanting to get at least one kill. And it looks like, oh, they nearly did there. Lovely thrash by Fios to save Ryan. However, he goes down either way. The players coming in from the backside, doing absolutely so much.
No
the
way.
pincers coming through here.
This
Can
is
they
so
find the
scary.
rest of the kits? But look at this. They're finding picks on Anticide. They're looking for the pick onto that medic here. But they've still got 3 players alive here. Juno, 3 HP, desperately waiting for the arrow. They drop their demo man. Their scout's so low. Healed up here, though. It's so clutch from Eon. He is just doing God's work to keep these last couple of players up. 30 seconds on the clock here. What do Venomcrest do?
There's not quite time for an Uber. If they build it very, very hard, maybe. But they've got to go for it anyway. What is there to lose? 18 seconds on the clock. Just about time to squeak out an Uber from Eon. They've got to go for it. There's a Pyro to contend with, a Heavy, a Demo. There's everyone here on Anticide. Their tournament life is on the line. Will they hang on?
Yeah, they do use Infrom at this main, but it's 4 seconds remaining on this clock, and they are just gatekeeping this point as much as possible, and it goes to a stalemate once again. Wow. Deja vu, if I have ever seen it. Wow. And what a close one. These guys are giving us a game and a half. Another Golden Cap. But they're taking every opportunity on each team. They're making it so close. They're making it so fast. We're not round resetting. These rounds are so close. They're made off of centimeters of advantage, and I'm loving every second of it.
This is TF2 at its best. This is absolutely phenomenal from both these teams. And like whoever goes home at the end of this series, right? This is going to be a heartbreak, right? Like it's been such a great fight from both of them. But as we say, Anticide, they're still a round away. If they lose this Golden Cap, they are out. And it will be very, very rough for them. But they have been so good for this game. They fought back in great style. They've had some fantastic plays between them. Like all the players, all 6 names, I could reel off great things they've done in this map. And it just hasn't been enough because the coordination on Venomcrest, this coordinated chaos that they're engaging in is just really, it's so hard to play against, and it's working so damn well.
Yeah, I mean, how do you deal with a scout just going up your own drop down? You're used to a soldier, but a scout is just something else. And it's only Venomcrest that you would see do it, right? They are just taking the craziest fights, the tiniest advantages, trying to make anything work possible. I have to shout out Eon. I think he's had an exceptional game.
Absolutely. I think Eon has been fantastic. And like I think I highlighted in the cast a couple of times, these like crazy trades we're seeing. So when Venomcrest are on their own second and they're taking these like there's like a sniper or something, they think, right, the way we fight this is we take an aggressive trade, make them flash a lot. But every single time, you never see Eon getting caught.
No.
Eon's never overstaying. He goes in enough that they can chase and they can get good damage, but you never see him like running back and getting stickied off or anything like that. He's always out at the perfect time, just as the Uber is fading, and he's always there to keep the players alive and keep these Uber charges flowing.
Yeah, I think he's really helped because every single door is just being bust as well. There's always chaos happening, so when sometimes a soldier may be able to jump behind him, that soldier's having to deal with a soldier and a scout trying to get through big door, or someone getting into lobby, or someone going into water, right? There's always something else happening, which I think makes it so hard for, anyone to do anything on the side of Anticide. But then on the Anticide side, I think they've just been playing so well. They've been playing super solid TF2. Either team deserves to win this, honestly, and we're going to find out who are the victors and who are the losers of this second map of Gullywash. If Venomcrest win this, Anticide are out of this tournament. Going home, Ben. Take us away.
Here we go, the final round of Gullywash. Big aggression in from Tiram. Hugie, the demo man, taken down early. Not the start that Anticide will have been after, and Charlie caught out late underneath too. Means Venomcrest now a player up, and one of those players being a demo means there is an opportunity to perhaps start waddling forwards.
Yeah, you've got to take this through big door if you're Venomcrest. This is usually where your demo man's going to be watching things. That's exactly what they do. Just poking and prodding, sending a player up top here. Instantly denied is Tiram, blank hitting the Timmy 2-shot. No problem at all here. They keep wanting to stay in a little bit. Juno overstaying his welcome, and now the advantage completely switches, as it is going to be the rest of Anticide busting in through this choke area into mid.
Absolutely, 2 players down already. Ubercharge forced out and traded back across this point over towards the choke. It's going to just be hugely in it so far for ANTICIDE, but can Eon get out again? Just as highlighted in between, Eon able to escape by the skin of his teeth. But Tyram not so lucky, and KN is going to try and come in the post fight and sit the medic down. Theos plucked out of the sky, and these trades, it's the tale of the 2 medics. Eon out perfectly, but KN seizes the moment straight in onto Theos. Big damage, big rockets, and big advantage for last.
Yeah, the collapses have just been absolutely phenomenal from Venomcrest so far. Managing to get out as well in situations that they just shouldn't do. It's absolutely rattling this side of ANTICIDE, and it just feels like they hit another gear in these high stakes scenarios here, and now they have such a good opportunity. It's Uber advantage, they're pushing into last. All they need to do is cap this 1 point, and the series is theirs.
ANTICIDE, their tournament life on the line. Flight home waiting for them outside the venue right now. ANTICIDE need to hang on. No Uber to help them, but an Uber charge is in their faces. Venomcrest flying in. This gun is immortal. It's living forever. The Pyro doing fantastic work. They can't kill it, but it doesn't matter.
It does not at all. Tyram comes in, clutches up. There was 4 times on point. Tyram cleans things up and gets Venomcrest the W. Double overtime that had to go to, though. First map, Golden Cap, Golden Mid. Second map, all the way to Golden Cap, and they just absolutely pull it out. They just go so aggressive, so balls to the wall, and it works out perfectly, even though that gun survived for so long.
There were 3 picks down.
Yeah.
And they just go on to the point. I don't know about you. I need to lie down after that game. That was crazy, crazy stuff. So we can talk less because we have a desk of experts ready to break that down. What a fantastic game. I'll hand it over to you, Turbo.
Easy. Fucking easy. That's the words of Yak from Venomcrest after he capped that Golden Cap. Was it so fucking easy here for them, Condawg?
Turbo, I've been telling you since the start. Yak is one of these teams that's going to do upsets. You know, ANTICIDE, they came in at 4th seed, okay, in the season. They're in playoffs next week. Yak, he hasn't made it to playoffs this season, but he's just knocked them out of the biggest LAN this year, apart from maybe Denver. Forgot about that. But yeah, no, Yak, he's played really well, and he's corralled the boys. This puts them into, what, is it the lower bracket final? No, lower bracket round 2, I believe. But yeah, great promise from the boys. They really just, I didn't think they'd take it in 2. I thought it was going to be a 3-mapper, but they made it work, him and the boys.
Surny, it was a tidy affair, really. I mean, they won it out in 2 maps. Usually we've had teams kind of take each other's own map picks, and it looked like it might have been the case there for a moment, but they found their footing. I don't know where they found it. Could you find how they found it?
I don't know. I think what we saw was a story of 2 teams that are very good at getting 2 points exactly and then taking as long as possible to finish the map. Take that however you will. But no, I think both maps we saw, like ANTICIDE coming out swinging and then losing stamina rather quickly, and like Venomcrest just having a bit more stamina to work with, bit more steam in the late game, and then once they build a bit of momentum, they just run away with it, right? So yeah, I think that's just what ended up giving them the edge both times. And even though I thought there was a chance it could go to map 3, I'm not surprised it was only 2.
Condawg, this felt like a game for Venomcrest, whether win or lose. It felt like that team was just trying things constantly. I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a little wheel in their mind. They would go, oh, I guess we're doing this kind of push, and they literally make it up on the fly. It's actually a privilege to be in there and just see them completely hot pot their way. And it's never just one idea. It's usually like 3 ideas at the same time, and it works. Poor ANTICIDE, they were just reacting to their TF2. Is this normal TF2? Should a top team be able to deal with just all this hot crock pot?
I think, Turbo, what it is there is a mastermind behind this, and that will be Vanu from the Venomcrest. You know, he's always thinking up new ideas. I mean, we saw literally in that last push, the gun on the left, you don't see that from most top teams. Vanu's someone who thinks about the game on like a different plane. You know, he's always got it cooking up ideas. We haven't yet to see the classic sniper, but I'm glad they got through. Maybe we'll be seeing it. But yeah, always cooking up different things, and it's definitely helped them take this game. And yeah.
Any sort of mistakes you could see, Surny? I know it seems kind of cruel to kick ANTICIDE down whilst they're being kicked out of the tournament, but it is a game of mistakes, it feels like. Was there any sort of pick that you had that was kind of just bugging you?
To be honest, it was a bit difficult to pay closest attention to every single mistake with Piggles sitting next to you screaming in your ear the entire time. But, I mean, it's hard to point out, like, specific single misplays because at the end of the day, it was super close. And ANTICIDE put up an incredible fight. So they came short in the end, but I think it's just a general... Like, there's always, like, one disconnected play you could maybe point out, but I think overall, fatigue, lack of mental maybe, it's hard to pinpoint, like, a specific point, at least for me, analyzing it, considering I'm not a top player. I don't know exactly what the pinpoint perfect play would have been in every situation.
All right, okay. Maybe we should look at all the mistakes are made on a massive scale. Let's scale these back a bit. Let's look at the entire LAN as a whole.
Right.
This has had implications here, gentlemen, because we have to say goodbye to not just one team, but two teams here.
True.
As we've got the brackets up, we've got the results of these other games that were going off at the same time, and it's a shocker, I know, but I believe Samakot are out. I believe Samakot are out. I'm trying to see with my little icons. But yeah, I see Venomcrest have made it through past ANTICIDE. They're going to be playing off against... Oh, Jesus. My eyes are betraying me. Big Bloke LAN are going to be playing against Venomcrest. And then we have... I can't see them.
Yes, Turbo?
Who is that team underneath Samakot? Is it Danish? Oh, yeah, it's
That's
Danish
DTR.
Time Regime. Sorry, it's such a tiny icon for me. I can't really see Scarface over there. But yeah, it's Danish Time Regime. They're going to be facing off against Forfence in this lower bracket run in our next section of the game. And yeah, that should be some exciting TF2. I think we might be visiting back to our upper bracket. Actually, all the schedule is all very confusing to me. Maybe we should bring up that schedule. Let's see what games we've got coming up for the rest of our day two.
Turbo, I think I know what's coming up.
What's coming up?
I think it could be the upper bracket final.
Oh, straight into the upper bracket
I
final?
believe so. Am I crazy? No, I'm an up. Yes, it is. Upper
Ah,
bracket
yes.
final.
Okay, so yeah, so we've had Venomcrest versus ANTICIDE, and now we're going to go straight into the upper bracket final, and then we're obviously going to save all those lower bracket games for later on. I think that's going to be our final game of the day as well, and what a game to end it on. Witness Gaming are finally rearing their head
Against
here on
who?
the main stream.
Against two Turbo.
Against Mandem.
It's the Mandem,
That's
guys.
right.
Mandem in the upper bracket final. I'm very excited. This could be the game of the tournament thus far. You know, these are the top seeds from Group A and Group B. I'm buzzing, Turbo. I'm buzzing to see the best soldier in Europe take on the best team in Europe. You know, we're going to see some monster performances, and I'm buzzing for it.
There's a lot to be said about these two teams, but we should probably take a little nice, kind break, you know, rest our heads a bit, maybe mourn the losses of ANTICIDE and Samakot, who are obviously gone from the tournament. And yeah, we'll be back with our upper bracket final real soon.